Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everybody on the live. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Welcome to another Echad Malkut Shabbat live lecture as we are continuing in the revelation of the Aleph Bet. Shabbat Shalom, everybody joining the live. We appreciate everybody who's been staying consistent and following us. And we do pray all as well. We bid shalom to the elders, the leaders amongst our people. We bid shalom to the Moraim, the Morays, Morals amongst our people, even to the Nabaim, the prophets as well. We definitely have prophets amongst us that I believe Yah has not universally revealed, that's doing the work and labor, prophets and prophetess. And also shalom to the servants, even down to the Gentiles amongst our people, the 12 tribes of Israel scattered across the four corners of the earth. We bid you all in our mother tongue, shalom aleichem. I know we did not go live last week due to some circumstance this way, but we appreciate y'all for checking in and seeing when we're going to do a live lesson as we are slowly but surely approaching the fall Moedim. If y'all need, actually, let me put that over real quick. For anybody who's been inquiring about the dates for the feast, just email us at the email that's about to go across the screen. And we will get you the list of the dates for the fall feast. Any other notes we got?
I did want to mention, if you don't mind liking the broadcast and as well sharing, if you feel that we offer value to you, we ask that you share that value that you're getting out of it with others that may be interested. That's what I can say.
Yeah, so just make sure y'all click like and subscribe, share the video if it's been of value to you. As we're not a ministry that's big on seeking the likes and all that type of stuff. If anything, we're just making sure the message get out there, just like Yeshua told the disciples, right? Spread the gospel across the full corner of the earth. And that's our main duty, whether that be on this live stream, whether that be in the streets. Is our duty to spread the gospel, the good news, the glad tidings, as we went over, right?
Yes.
Of our master. So make sure y'all click like and subscribe. And with that being said, we're gonna get started on the Revelation of Tsade. It's interesting, right? As it seems like as you get lower in the alphabet, the Aleph Bet, the letters get a little bit more complicated. And I find myself having to dig deeper each and every letter. Where y'all, it's like, and it's crazy that we're on this one, because it seems like, especially when it's a letter that y'all really wants me to get understanding on, he puts me through something during the week to get something out of it, to really evolve on the understanding of what he's trying to convey. And so this one, when I looked at the surface of the meaning, I really had to ask, okay, y'all, what do you want me to get out of this? Like, how do it was almost to a point I'm gonna call Chief, like, hey man, we may have to get this another week. But as I started to really read, he started to reveal something to me. And I think it's actually very relative to the message Chief did on Abraham. And as we always say, Abraham is the closest when it comes to a testimonial journey that we can relate to. One who was into idolatry and paganism by way of his father and that culture and seeking y'all and praying y'all. Like we all did right through our life before coming into this world. We all can say we had moments where we like trying to understand who God is. Everybody had an opinion on what God is, what he looked like, how he gets down, et cetera, et cetera. But you wanted to understand how he is. I remember just seeing memories on my Facebook from when I was just 16, 17, asking the question on Facebook. I was like saying, I want to know who God is. I want to understand who really God is. And so as I mature into who Yah is, he actually gives me memory of these questions I asked. Because the reality is, we often forget what we prayed for. Sometimes we think that the prayers start to get answered once we come to the wall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we forget what we was really, and we act like and I get it through the programming, even into the so-called Hebrew Israelite movement. We have this thing of anything that we did before this walk counted for naught. That what we didn't actually lead us to this point. Believe it or not, what you did before this walk led you actually to this point. There was nothing that you did outside of Yah calling you that didn't lead you to this point. He answered the call. Israel was crying in Egypt and he answered the call. A lot of us was calling in Yah for years trying to understand him. Some of us did not relate to the Christian church. Some of us didn't relate to the pastor and then services. Some of us didn't relate to real Islam. We didn't really understand those things, didn't resonate with us. Some of us it didn't resonate with us through the Yoruba religion and the Pan-Africanism religion. But we knew that there was a God and there had to be something more than what was being conveyed to us, right? A lot of us could say, like, I know for me, I what you would like to call a balanced diet of spirituality. My father practicing the Yoruba religion, and even some facets of Pan-Africanism. And I just found out recently that there's actually a heavy movement in my family. And then you got my mother, but even my grandparents was heavy Christians, especially my grandfather. He's actually a deacon over a church. He's very invested financially in every which way you could think about. So I had that in between world going on. But even in that, something was calling me. I felt there was something more than that. I felt there was something bigger than this, and it just didn't resonate with me. I'm the one who got kicked out of church, literally. I couldn't come back because I just couldn't sit still. It just didn't make sense to me as a child. And I think that's how Yah brings us into a place of he dropping cookie crumbs for us to understand him more. He never gives us the whole pie. He just gives us a piece of it, just enough. Negroes, we need more than just a slice. We need the whole thing. Okay. So for him to keep us interested, he just only got to give us a piece. Mm-hmm. And it's when we fully mature in Yah that we realize that this pie was actually never mine in the first place. Mm-hmm. It was his, and I've been actually selfish with it. And so coming into this letter, we actually realized that we're going to realize that our way of even how Yah wants us to live in this life, it was never our own. He never called us to be who we think we're supposed to be. And the problem with a lot of us we have a problem arriving to the point or the destination that he's called us is because we're fighting against what we want to be versus what he wants us to be. And we keep forgetting that before you even knew who you were, he actually implanted in you a destiny. He implanted in you a vision. He implanted in you a purpose and a mandate that through your actual life, he planted seeds to get you to that mandate, even when you were ignorant. We just been taught to use the gifts and the vision the wrong way. So when we come into this walk, we should be coming to lay all things that we thought right down and ask him what is the right way to do it. And a lot of us don't arrive to that point because we stuck on the first phase of Hebrew Israelitism, just the identity piece, Judah. But what does those names mean? When you start breaking those names mean, minus even the person. Do you really want the mission? That what it means to be called Yehudim? Or be an Issacharite? Do you know what that means? Do you know what it means to be a Levite? Do you really actually know what that means? Because if you did, I know for me, I'll push it away. Because the cost it means to live that, means you got to actually die to yourself for real. That means you actually got to give up your way. That means you actually got to not be selfish. And a lot of us coming in this walk being selfish. A lot of us coming in this walk thinking we know something. The truth, as far as in being in America, ain't even been in America for over 200 years. So you think you're gonna get a 6,000 year understanding of God and in essence of what they say up to date of Adam in 80 years or 20 years? That would take a lifetime, which means that would take a journey. And a lot of us really haven't even started the journey. We just really, believe it or not, some of us actually still got our foot in the Chaldean and the other foot on the journey. Some of us still on the path of Babylon, and the other foot is on the other side of actually taking the crossing over. But you only can actually cross over when both feet face in one direction. Have you ever actually tried to walk the opposite direction to yourself? You can't, right? And a lot of us, the thing with Yah is his blessings follow those who bless him. And there is evidence of that. Not to say we get into the carnality or vanity of material things, but there is evidence in somebody's life of following Yah.
Right.
There is. It's not something that even a person who is following Yah to speak on, because people will testify something is different about you. It's just like going on a fast or a cleanse. The longer you're on a fast, you actually start to see your hair be more vibrant. Your skin becomes more vibrant. Obviously, the natural thing, you're going to start losing weight. You're going to start thinking more clear. You actually start to find yourself making better decisions. And that's actually the same thing when it comes to Yah. When we start cleansing ourselves of our ways, right? Because David said, what? Wash me thoroughly. He didn't say wash me a little bit. He said, wash me thoroughly. Do you know, actually, if you go into that word thoroughly, what it means? It means to literally wash me completely of myself. That's what that means. When one consecrates himself, when you go into the definition, it literally means a person who loses all natural senses. So when you actually look at the overall purpose of this walk, you should not be a person after his own mind, but you should only be after the mind of Mashiach. He should be your blueprint and example of what it looks like to serve Yah. Even the men we always look up to, King David, Solomon, even our father Abraham. But every last one of them actually was flawed. And all of them had a piece of Yeshua in them, though. And when you actually take a piece of them, you get the full testimony of Yeshua. And so that's really what the story should be about, is we're looking at them, seeing how can we extract a piece of these men's lives and add it to our own arsenal so that we can put on the whole armor of Elohim. What did David struggle with? How did Solomon fall? What Abraham's error? Where did Jacob slip up at? And you'll actually start to see the blueprint of Yeshua. But that takes an actual journey. That takes a true trail towards Yah and his kingdom. But that kingdom is not necessarily outside, but it's also within. And when you look within, the first thing you got to look within yourself to do is who you got to look at first? Yourself. Yourself, because you're the reason that you may not get into the kingdom. You can't blame me. You can't blame Chief. You can't blame Shalom. You cannot blame anybody. You can't blame your pastor, your parents, nobody. It will only be on you if you do not make it to Mount Zion. And we're going to actually get into it today. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So let's get it. Let me share my screen. You got anything for me? Good, okay. So, make sure my screen being shared. Before we move on, can everybody hear me? Can everybody on the live hear me? If you can hear me, drop some threes in the chat. If you can hear me, drop some threes in the chat. Shabbat shalom to Sister Warrior in Puerto Rico. Shabbat shalom to Brother Henshaw in Florida. What's going on, brother? Shabbat shalom to the house of Travis. Shalom, shalom, Mike. We miss you, brother. All right, so let's get it. Everybody can hear me. Shabbat shalom to Kanak. Let's get it. So Tsade, right? Ancient name Tsade. When you actually look at the pictograph, matter of fact, hold on real quick so I can put it on the screen. Hold on real quick, I'm putting on the screen for the tribe. I did this at first. Y'all can follow me. Mm-hmm. So y'all can actually see what I'm looking at.
Can you do me a favor? Go give me a cup.
All right, so y'all can see that now, right? All right, so when we look at Tsade, right, the actual pictograph, y'all can see that right there. If you look at it, you can see actually a trail, right? But at the very end, at the top left, you actually see like a destination, like it's a stop mark, right? And so when you look at the meaning, it means journey, chase, or hunt. Journey, chase, or hunt. It says the three ancient pictographic possibilities for this letter. It gives these three different signs, right? And actually, that middle sign y'all see it is said that it was originally 23 letters, right? The third letter or 23rd letter being something called Gan. It's actually the infinity sign, which I haven't yet proven if that's right or not. If it was 23rd, but it is by scholars say that it was 23. I thought it was interesting seeing that was an infinity sign because just like in the human body, each parent gives you how many chromosomes? 23, right? And so then the third one is obviously the trail. It said the word Tsade means side, but it also is related to the idea of a stronghold, which is often built on the side of a mountain. Now, what's the thing about a stronghold? What does a stronghold do? Protect. Mm-hmm.
Protect.
Mm-hmm. It's a structure. What else?
Hold.
Hold, bound things. Right. What else? You keep out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, with Yah is always a duality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can either keep you in or keep you out.
Mm-hmm.
It can bound you, or it can even in some instances keep you stretched out. So when you look at it, there's always a duality in which we'll go into when it comes to Yah. Just like it says, which is often built on the side of a mountain. Now, what's the interesting thing about mountain in the scriptures? Somebody tell me. High places. What else? Government. What else? Kingdoms. What else? Principalities. What else? One of the most important ones. We always say it. Holy place. Oftentimes, y'all will meet us where? In the mountain. Mount Zion. Mount Sinai. Huh? You got Mount Moreh, right? You got these different mounts, right? And there is actual ideology and philosophy behind how Israelites view mountains. And that being one of them. See, remember, Yah, he'll use everything in nature to tell a story about himself. It's not that the thing itself is the story, but it's telling that story or testifying of Yah itself. You'll see it oftentimes that you'll see parables talking about mountains and they will shake at Yah's presence, right? But that was metaphorically speaking of what? Kingdoms of darkness, right? We see oftentimes where Yeshua was taken up to a mountain by who? And what did he present to him? The world. Right, in these high places of mountains. It even said when it did with your faith. We're going to get in that too. But if you have faith, you can do what? Move a mountain. Will that be physically, or what is he really talking about? You're able to shake up and remove even the government of darkness. You can overcome these principalities. So when we look at this structure of a mountain or a stronghold, there's a duality to it. So it says the pictograph is a picture of a trail as leading up to a destination. Y'all see that? Or a stronghold. Most ancient Semitic alphabets use pictographs which closely resemble that symbol we see, indicating that this was most likely the original form of the letter. The modern name for this letter is Tsade, also meaning side, is a child root from the word Zad. The phonetic sound of this letter is Za in both ancient and modern Hebrew, right? So when we actually look at what it says for mountain, I'm going to show y'all the duality of the path, and I'm going to show y'all the duality of the mountain. Reason being is we're going to see that the reality is man can only go down two paths. And he has to choose what path you want to go down. And at each path, there's a cup that you set, that you are thirst for. You see? There's a broad path and then there's a straight and narrow path. But each one leads to a destination. We're going to find that out. Hallelujah. So if you can actually read this for me, Chief Mount, you're going to go all the way to that. You're going to read from here all the way to that.
Okay. And this is one of our favorite tools. The Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, and this is an older one. I think this is actually done in the 70s. So just for you guys to know.
Okay.
Good source. Mount or mountain, hill, mount, and mountain are terms roughly synonymous in the English Bible. Much of Palestine is hilly or mountainous. These elevations are not dramatically high, but are old, worn-down hills.
It's all right there. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting that even the very nature of the ancient lands of Israel is very mountain. It is in actually high places. And it does go through different elements. It's not just all the way hot. There's actually parts of Israel that has snow in it. It don't stick, but it does, right? I just thought that was interesting seeing that. Remember, Yah uses the elements through his speech to try to convey something to us. Seeing that the land of Israel is very mountain. Go ahead.
Essential hill country stretches from north to south in Palestine, attaining its greatest elevations in Galilee, nearly 44,000 feet above sea level, and finally ending in Negev in the south. Much of Transjordan is high plateau land. Although
I know how much walking Abraham was doing. That man was in shape.
That man's although in Syria, north of Palestine, this section reaches great height in Mount Hermon.
Now, when that makes sense, right? When he talks about, remember I say he uses mountains for examples. Remember Psalm 133. Oh, behold, how beautiful and pleasant it is for brother dwelling in unity. It's like the precious ointment upon the head, even Aaron's beard. That went down like the Mount Hermon. So you see, because he used the elements of how the snow or the drought of the mountain drops down. He actually relates it to the anointing oil. Come on.
In Mount Hermon is 9,100 feet above sea level, which is snow covered throughout the year. Many ancient peoples consider mountains as holy places. Mount Sinai.
Side note, just for those who be trying to look for the land, that's a marker for you. That it had to be snow on the mountains. Just a side note for my people who want to search out the land. There's certain landmarks that you got to look for to know if that's the land. People.
Many ancient peoples consider mountains as high places, as holy places. Mount Sinai, you can actually read that in Deuteronomy 33:2, Judges 5, chapter 5, verses 4-5. And Mount Zion, Psalm 68:16, were especially revered by the Hebrews.
All right there. So you see, our ancient fathers and mothers view mountains as holy places. Oftentimes, you actually start to see, like when the prophets, when they were ready to disappear and be removed from society, where would they go? To the mountains. When Yeshua went to go fast, where did you go? Mountain. When Moses went to go fast, where did you go? Mountain. When Abraham went to go sacrifice, possibly his son, where did you go? Mountain. So you see, mountains had a significant place. They found a lot of the scrolls, the ancient scrolls, in the Mount Qumran, the Qumran caves. So that's where believe it or not, that's where a lot of people had their meetings at too. So for those who went to the Essenes and those different type of groups, they would have their meetings in the mountains. Go ahead.
Mountains were especially revered by Hebrews as the places of Elohim's revelation. And abode mountains in scripture are symbolic of eternity. Genesis 49, verses 26. And of strength and stability, but Elohim is more strong and stable than they. Which is you can see that in Psalms 97, verse 5, 121, verses 1-2. Then you go to RSV, Isaiah 40:12. They also portray difficult obstacles of life.
You see that? You can start right there.
Okay.
So you see, that's the duality. It can portray a holy place, a stronghold of safety, A place of meeting, or it can portray something of difficulty, a trial or error, something that you got to learn to get over. And I think Elder did this a while ago, talked about mountains can represent tests. That you got to be, and a lot of times people who older, they'll say, I'm over the mountain, I'm about to get over the mountain. Right? And what are they talking about? Time. They're talking about years. They're talking about every experience that they had. That my experiences in this life is almost over. So mountains represent symbolically a lot of different things. So as we go through this lesson, I want y'all to ask yourself the duality side of it. Where's y'all become a mountain to you? And what problem do you have that has become a mountain to you? Because based upon that, you will see really which path you need to be going. Because only by Yah's strength, not only can you get over the mountain, but that you're able to dwell on that mountain. Because remember, when it came to Moses, what did he tell him to do when he asked Israel to come meet him? What did he say to do? He said, tell Israel, the children of Israel, to do what? To stop. Tell them don't come no further up this mountain. Why? Why? It's sacred, but why couldn't they cross, but Moses could? I ain't never thought about that, huh?
Well, not because Moses was separate from them, but he was communicating with the Most High at that time. But
he was obviously set apart.
Set apart.
But the reality is, to answer your question, is that they weren't cleansed yet. They weren't cleansed. They weren't sanctified yet. They were only going through, remember, wilderness is what? Bad midbar. And the Bad midbar is when God uses his word to test you. So they were still in the testing phase. Moses started already really going through all that stuff before getting with him. So he already went through that sanctification while he was able to be as Elohim and Aaron to be as his prophet. Israel, so what does that mean? Are we on the side where we're at the end of the mountain where we're not able to go up? Or have we crossed over on being able to sit on Mount Sinai or sit on Mount Zion? You see that? Because the thing about not being able to be on that mountain is that means you're down there still with a lot of the elements. You're still exposed to a lot of the elements. And that high place where you need to meet, y'all, you are not quite there yet to even cross over. They weren't able to cross over that what was a good military line for that little brigade? Is that what it's called? That little line is like something like that. I forgot the name of it, but they weren't able to pass that line to be able to be in that safe zone. Y'all had to still prove them to see where they even holy yet, which is why they was 40 years in the wilderness. They hadn't passed the test yet. They weren't able to even go over the mountain. And the time they did finally go over the mountain, they came back with bad news. And y'all told them, hey, all right, y'all won't come like that. Don't come on this mountain then. Because if you come on this mountain, you cross over, I ain't going to be with you.
Okay.
Please.
I remember when I was a Boy Scout, when I was in California, we had, I forgot the name of the mountain. I can't think of the name of it. But the first thing you have to do at the base of the mountain, you got to make sure you have everything you need, right? You always at the base of the mountain, you go do your backpack check, you look for your food supplies. Once you start, once you start to ascend, it's hard. And then when you think of a mountain, if you ever went up a side of a mountain, you're going to have some real narrow places. Right? And that was a trippy part. Like at the base of the mountain, you're literally going to start out this wide space. Then you'll see the road actually get more and more narrow, where only 1 or 2 people in certain parts of the mountain. You can, at certain parts of the mountain, you only one person can pass, but then sometimes you can walk side by side. But what you're always going to see is that, like, the guys behind us was always going to be the leader, right? And then you have certain people that are probably a little stronger. They have, like, our camp leader or troop leader, whatever it was, would be in the front. And then our master, whatever they called him at the time, he would be in the back. So they're always going to have the more experienced people and the one person in the front and one in the back, right? That's going to follow. But the trippy part about a mountain, going up it, you'll see how you got to traverse. You traversing all of this territory. You're going through all of these different. It's gonna be some of the stone will be, some of the road will be like real stony. And you're gonna find out being more careful because You literally, it was parts of the mountain where we can almost look over and look on the side. And some of the steps you're taking is you'll see some of the rocks and dust actually falling off the side. But the trippy part is when you get to when we got to the top of this mountain, everything flattened out. You would never know from the top of that, on the bottom of that mountain, that they had whole rivers and streams. And we camped up there. It was like another world up there, but you was way up there. But the air actually gets thinner.
Yep.
The air gets thinner, so now you have to your oxygen changes. So your body has to kind of change with it.
Yep. Ooh,
right?
Yep.
It's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do when you get up to the top of a mountain. But the thing that I remember when you talking about this lesson is taking back that whole memory of this trip. Because when the water was the cleanest.
Yep.
The water was like, you could literally look, the water was like crystal. You could look through the water, you could see fish swimming in it, you could see all this, but you will never know all of that is on top of that mountain. You know what I mean? Because all we're seeing from our vantage point, we're just looking at the side of a mountain. And it's not until you get to the top where you actually see what's up there. And that reminds me of if we're going to say heaven, right? Or a lofty place or a high place, that's the first thing coming to your mind. Because everything settles, but you'll never know until you get to the top of that mountain what's really in store for you up there.
Yep.
But you got to be able to traverse that terrain. It's hot, it's dusty and all that, but up there, you got to think they're getting the purest of water. They're getting everything, like they're getting the best sunshine up there, everything, because it's the highest place in all of it. You see what I'm saying? Some of that stuff and the crazy part is when we got all the way up there, we literally could see down into the clouds.
Yep.
You're looking down into the city because we're looking in Los Angeles. You actually are above the clouds. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking down early in the morning. All you're seeing is all of these clouds. But the air is the cleanest and everything. So, yeah, man. I'm just a little side note.
That's a fact.
When you thinking about that, it's like we always talk about life. But we'll use that analogous analogy in our conversations when we talk about I'm almost over this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm you know what I'm saying? We will even use it in our language. I'm almost there. I'm almost at the top of this. You see what I'm saying? And it's built into our social construct.
Yep.
Even lives, when we think of mountains, we think of hurdles, we think of challenges and all of that. But you get winded going up a mountain. You will get winded. And the crazy part is the hardest part, and this is what I think our leader said, the hardest part is always when you get in the middle of the mountain.
Yeah.
He said the hardest part, you will always be halfway there at the middle of the mountain. That's where you'll be your tiredness.
Yep.
And he said most people will turn back.
Yeah, I was about to say that's when they start thinking.
He said most people will turn back at the middle when you're almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, that remind me of when we stayed in Arusha. They got one of the biggest mountains in Africa called Mount Kilimanjaro. When I tell y'all, I kid you not, this mountain literally this mountain alone got to stretch about 3 or 4 cities wide. And it's literally ascending above the clouds. Then they got a smaller one, but it's a little smaller. It's called Mount Peru. And everything you said is actually what they was telling me about. I was like, maybe I should go take my prophet trip up there. They started telling me it's like a 5-day trip up to the top. And like, yeah, they do 2 types of trips. You can go halfway up. That's what's funny. You mentioned that. You can go halfway up. It's 2.5 trips, or 2.5 days. And the full trip is 5 days. Now keep in mind, that's 5 days going all the way up and then coming back down. So the thing that got me was like, yeah, some people go up there and some people die. I'm like, oh yeah, no. I know y'all ain't got the equipment just in case. So I ain't never did it. But I'm be honest with you, just looking at it on a spiritual side, because this is a mountain that also has snow too. On a spiritual side, it's extremely intimidating. And you looking at it like you got pride, like, man, I want to do it. And then something kick in, like, that's a bad boy right there. I don't know about that. But the flip side is that's how it is some of our problems. We want to get over these issues of sin and transgression. But when we start to accumulate all those years that we did it, and the programming and the pattern that created, we were like, I don't know if I can really get over this. Mm-hmm. Then we start finding ourselves doing this. Like, I'll try again next week. I repent. I'll do it again next month. Mm-hmm. And that's the mountain. It really is the mountain mm-hmm. that you got to go over. Like for me, since I've been back in the last 2 years, one of the things I started finding myself doing is I started lacking a lot of discipline. And that lack of a lot of discipline I started to see as I did not deal with it, it started to kind of integrate into other areas of my life. Mm-hmm. And so just this August, which is why y'all see me doing these miles, I finally said, no, I'm going to get over this mountain of me lacking discipline, because this is not serving me or anybody that's around me. I'm not able to give anybody my best. You know what I mean? And discipline is one of the main ingredients to success. I'm not talking about material. I'm talking about success with y'all. You got to be disciplined. You know what I mean? I was lacking fasting, lacking more time of praying, lacking more time of studying, because I was thinking about the cares of this life, even down to my diet. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to keep making no excuse. Because at the end of the day, as a man in my house, as a servant leader to y'all, I have to do this for everybody, because I cannot be who I'm going to be for y'all if I don't do this for the one who created me. You know what I mean? And that was a journey, because I do things where, I'll give y'all an example. Me and my Isha, right? We'll be like, yeah, we're going to work on this together. She'll quit. It discouraged me. I'm like, man, all right, man, forget it, man. Just get back to it, right? We'll do it again. She'll quit. And then a couple days later, I quit. I'm like, man, forget it, man. I ain't got nobody to do it with. But something clicked in me, like, how long that's going to be your excuse? Because somebody else quit that you can't keep going. And the reality is, the only way she going to change is if you change. You see what I mean? And I'm being transparent with y'all. And I had to tell her, like, look, I don't know what you're going to do. But this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Hey, I may act a little different, but because I got to stay focused. This is for you. Because the reality is, none of us in this room are here for ourselves. And I always tell y'all, and I learned this, and I really believe this. We are on an individual journey with group effort. None of us can go before y'all with each other. None of us can say or blame each other. But we are here to encourage one another to complete the purpose y'all gave in each and every last one of us. And believe it or not, if y'all divinely put us together, it's because every individual path that y'all had led you to this point. And it was supposed to work for the betterment of the brethren. So when you are lacking in your individual effort or project, you are causing the group effort to lack, which means there's a crack in the armor. And that's what you're going to see today, because that stronghold, in each stronghold, there's actually intricate pieces that make one another stronger. And when you have one crack in the stronghold, believe it or not, it actually caused the rest of the stronghold to erode and rot. So imagine that as us being a stronghold at 3-inch core, whatever it's called, in Ecclesiastes. If you have one piece of thread start to break off, at some point everything else is gonna break off. Mm-hmm. So don't think that you're here literally just by yourself. You are on a mission by yourself, but there's actual parts and members that help you on your mission. And when you are denying actually the tools that y'all giving you to really complete his mission for you, you cause there to be a kink in his armor. And the one thing about God, he ain't gonna let that kink stay there long enough. He gonna replace it quickly. So you can either go on a path towards life or go on a path towards destruction. Mm-hmm. But either way, you go on some type of path. So with that being said, let's go to Psalm 87. So when we go, we're going to break this up in different segments. The first thing we're going to go over is the character of mountains. Why is that important? Because you got to know what mountain you're going towards. Because remember, it said it's a trail leading up to a destination. Now, my question, y'all, is what final destination are we trying to get to? I'm asking y'all. The kingdom. The final destination we're trying to get to is the kingdom. The root word of destination is destiny. What is your destiny? Because there was certain parts and pieces that was used for corruptibility, but there were certain members that was made for honor. You see that? What are you? Have you thought about what you are? Because it's not based upon what you say, but it's about what you do. That you know if you are a vessel of what, honor or dishonor. My bad, Chief. So let's go to. So now we're gonna go into the character, right? A character of a mountain is a big and massive type of element, right? It can be used as a holy place, a kingdom, or it can be described as a trial and test of your faith. So the first element we're going to deal with is the holy place. Let's go to Psalms 87. Share my screen real quick.
Hallelujah. The book of Psalms, 87:1. A psalm or song for the sons of Korah. His foundation is the holy mountain.
His what?
His foundation is the holy mountain.
Come on.
The Yahweh loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob.
Oh, wait. So is this really about being a Hebrew Israelite? Or is this about laying a true foundation of Mount Zion? And what is the foundation of Mount Zion? Because we've seen that it can be referred to as a stronghold. What could be that holy stronghold for us? I'm asking y'all. What could be that stronghold for us, that holy stronghold? Yeah, what could be a holy strong? What can bind us up? What can yoke us up? What can keep us in place? Which is the word. So the foundation of his holy mountain is what? His word. It is only based upon standing on his word that you're able to climb and reach higher heights and high places. Or what we're going to say to reach that holy of holies. Because remember, watch this, just so we can go forward. Let's break down the tabernacle. Let's break down the tabernacle. Let me ask y'all something. How many doors is in the tabernacle?
Doors.
Or gates. I'm sorry, gates.
Within the tabernacle?
Yeah. You look at the fullness of the tabernacle, how many gates was there? There's 3 gates, right? Now, what was significant about each gate? There was a significance about each gate. What was that? I got you. As you go through each gate, the door gets smaller. It gets more narrow because the lesser people are allowed to go in. So you had 3 phases, or you had three sections of the tabernacle. You had the gate itself, which all could come in. Everybody could come in, right? And you could be at the outer court.
Levites, right?
Huh?
You talking about?
Yeah, because we had to stay at the actual door itself, right? But then as you go to the holy place, could all Levites enter into that? No. Which ones could? Not the holies of holy, but the holy place.
The sons of Aaron.
There you go, the sons of Aaron. But even within the sons of Aaron, once you get to the holies of holies, who can only enter in?
Only the high priest.
The high priest. Now, who's our high priest?
Mashiach.
So that means as we go through these phases of entering in Yah's tabernacle, the only person, once we get to the place of holies, or his holy mountains, who is the only person that should be seen? Mashiach. You understand? You look confused. Okay. You understand? So the people itself, just like on the mountain, right? Every person could not enter on the mountain. They had to stay at the door. This is even where they had to bring their sacrifice out. Why? Because obviously they're bringing the sacrifice part of the time because they're doing what? Is it what type of offering? Sin offering, burnt offering, right? And only who was able to bring that offering through? The high priest. So in each level, you actually see less and less of the people. And there's actually specific people that Yah allows in. And as you get further and further and closer to him, he only wants to see one person. Which shows you when it comes to our path, enter into Mashiach, when he comes back, the only person he wants to see is who? He don't want to see Yaakov. Because his Mount Zion is much greater than the dwelling places of Jacob. He don't want to see Zekiah. He don't want to see Mikael. He don't want to see Shalah. He don't want to see El Radiah. He want to see Mashiach. When he look at you, he wants to see the aura of Mashiach in you. He don't want to be on you. He wants to be in you. So when he comes, he's only seeing his word. He wants to see us be walking Torahs of his word. And if you really understand Paul, this is really the revelation of Paul. He was saying that you should get to a point where you are the book. You no longer need the pages because you are the book.
Bread of men.
You see? So when he said that bread for manna, this is how men should be able to feast on you, because they really feast on who? Mashiach. But that takes a journey. That takes some letting go up that mountain, because if you ever been up even a small mountain, you bring a lot of stuff with you. It becomes a heavy burden. And a lot of us is laying in iniquities and bringing burdens of this world on top of this mountain, thinking we can bring our old life with us. But as you get further and further up the mountain, you realize at the end of the day, take no script or nothing. Just take the clothes on your back.
I'll do the rest.
I'll do the rest. Because what was up that mountain? You said a river, right? Huh? Of living waters. And when you go higher, that you actually have to transform. Your body has to transform or transcend just to be able to survive. In the spiritual, we see this with the prophets. When they were taken up by the angels, they had to transform their whole body to be able to come in his presence. Just as you as a man, when you go up a holy mountain or a mountain itself, your body literally on a cellular level has to change. You actually see as you go higher, because you have to have more air to breathe, your cells will literally kill themselves and birth new cells more rapidly than when you were lower. So you're able to get more oxygen in quicker. So you see, even as we go up mountains, what we talking about physically or what we talking about spiritually, there's more we have to let go along the journey to get to the place we need to meet him at. And my question for all y'all internally, consider yourself. Consider your ways. Are you still at the bottom of the mountain? Or have you started to transcend the mountain just even a little bit? A lot of us think because we've been in this walk 5, 6, 10 plus years that you started to transcend. Now realize you're probably still like the Israelites in the wilderness, circling the mountain, never being able to come up. Never being able to come up. Because many are called, but what? Few are chosen. Few. Even when you look at the disciples, when Yeshua went up to the mountain, when he saw Moses and Elijah, right? Was all the disciples with him? No, it was only a few. It was only a few. So understand, you have an opportunity because you are called to be part of that few. I was reading through Matthew 5, right, or Matthew 7, and when it goes to blessed are those, right? It was interesting to me that it said, blessed are those who are pure, for they shall see God. They were the only ones. It didn't say blessed are the peacemakers who see God. It didn't say the humble or the meek. It didn't say the poor. It said those who are pure got to see God. Out of all those who were blessed, this small remnant of purity got to see Yah. Because they were the ones who took that commitment serious of fasting, of praying, of giving up things in the world. Knowing that these things in the world profit us not. A lot of us, believe it or not, on this journey, we are still attached to the world and material things, including myself. There's a certain discipline, I'm pretty sure Elder Doc can attest. 4 years by himself. Like that's a discipline. Negroes can't even be by themselves for 6 months, let alone 4 years. How many of us can really go without a woman for that long? Before them fingers get to itching, wrists get to bending. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's a real discipline. And it's an unfortunate discipline because why should that even have to be something we glorify? In our culture, that wasn't really so. Because we look at sex different than we do. We are hypersexual. And that's just one example. We live in a gluttonous society. Most of us eat more than we need to. I saw somebody who I was supremely surprised talk about this. And he actually had the same agreement with me that we'll sit here and talk bang on pork chop eating pastors, but you look like the pork chop eating pastor. You don't even look like you actually apply Leviticus 11. And believe it or not, that is actually a form of discipline. Disciplining yourself. There's a reason he said man should not live by bread alone. It's not because he was just metaphor, man. We had a gluttonous issue. Right? I'm telling you. We had a problem. The first thing we start to fiend over in the wilderness was what? Food. Because we don't know how to let go of the things of this life and truly allow God to feed us in spirit and in truth. We have not properly took the journey yet. We have not properly took the journey yet. And we think we got so far because we got a little understanding of this and a little understanding of that. Knowledge puffeth up. It means nothing. It means nothing. So let's go to Psalms 48. We're going to start at verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 48, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
A song and a psalm for the sons of Korah. Great is the Yahweh, and greatly to be praised in the city of our Elohim, the mountain of his holiness.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful for situation.
Beautiful for what?
Situation.
Come on.
The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king.
Come on.
Elohim is known in her palaces for a refuge.
Stop right there. So we see that this abode, this mountain is a place of safety. This is where we find joy at. This is where we find peace at. This is really where we find the fruit of the spirit of being on that mount of Zion. Right? We went over this. What does Zion mean? Anybody know? That's Jerusalem. Zion. What is Zion? Sion. What does Sion mean? I thought that means city of peace. That's Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Jerusalem does sit on there, but Mount Zion itself, let's see if we pull up here. It actually means a parched place. A parched place, right? This is a place, and then another definition of it actually means a weapon. It means to be a weapon. So we see that when we reside on Mount Zion, we reside in Yah's holy place. He becomes an enemy to our what? He becomes an enemy to our enemies.
If I can add,
please.
The root word of Zion is Zayun, which in a sense is concupiscence. A monumental or guiding pillar.
There you go.
A sign, title, or waymark. In other words, Zion is the mount, is the sign or the pillar of the kingdom of Yah. And it was also that in Israel. When we think of Yah being sitting and thinking about Zion and being his place, is we must grasp the reality. Again, going back to my first statement about climbing a mountain. Mountain elevates you above all situations. So I said beautifully situated. Right? It takes you above situations and circumstances. We're also told, I will run to the hill from which cometh my help.
There you go.
Right? So we're told when you actually could go, when you go in Zion or when you go in Yah spiritually, you can get perspective.
Yep.
Right? Because you can look, you can see things. He takes you above the situation where you can see, you can see your problems, your hangups, you get perspective. Right? And when you get perspective, you can rise above and you can get out of your natural man. You get out of your feelings and your emotions. Right? And you get perspective. when we're all really asking Yah for anything, like for answers, what are we really asking for? We're asking for perspective.
Okay.
Right. And when you actually, if you've been on a mountain, even if you get halfway up a mountain, you're going to see the world from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see the streets, right? You're going to see the ley lines. You're going to see how the streets run and everything. You just get perception.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to let's see. I want to read more of that. No, we good. So that's what we see about the mountains as far as the perspective of being a holy place. And let's go to the perspective of being a kingdom. Matthew chapter 4. We're going to start at verse 7.
Mm-hmm. The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 7. Yehoshua said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Yahweh thy Elohim. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain.
So now we see it from the perspective of a mountain that Shaitan wants to take him up to a mountain, right? And this obviously has to be a different mountain. Couldn't be Mount Zion, right? Let's keep going.
And showeth him all the kingdoms of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and the glory of them. And said unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So you see the perspective of this now is that on, let's say, Satan's unholy mountain, that he can almost offer you the same thing. Mm-hmm. he can offer you water, he can offer you food, clothes, power, money, all the things, because he don't make nothing new. Mm-hmm. He gonna offer you the same thing. All he asks in return is that you bend the knee to him and worship him. Mm-hmm. You see that? So when we're going into this journey called life, you got to ask yourself in the path that you're going, even especially, and I'm going to say this, I realize even especially for entrepreneurs, because the hustle you got to have, there's a way, there's almost a sense where you can find yourself almost compromising to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you got to even be careful with entrepreneurship and making sure it's an upright type of business. Because if you got a different perspective where you're trying to go, Satan will be right there to offer it to you. All he needs you to do is lean unto him with all your heart, mind, and soul.
And some people actually believe Mount Hermon is actually Satan's mountain, because that's where the angels descended on Mount Hermon.
Yeah.
So this may very well be the mountain where they ascended, that where Satan probably took him up to. Is in Mount Hermon.
Okay.
Just for some.
No, that's good. That's so that we see. I'm glad you brought that. So that we see that there's two sides. We talk about it, right? There's two sides to it. Do you want to go on Mount Zion or do you want to go on Mount Hermon? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there's something behind Mount Hermon too, as far as the name.
Oh, it is. If you do some research, there's a lot of conspiracy theory. A lot of people believe that Mount Hermon is where a lot of the elites actually go to do certain things. So, yeah, they believe it's a portal.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, it's a portal.
So
that would make sense why the angels descended.
Yeah. And if you also see what we just read, he said that, and he saw all the kingdoms, right?
Yep.
From that place, and that's what I was speaking to. That's where you go and get perspective when you go to a mountain. You're taking up. And that's a good point. You see what I'm saying? They were going up there so he could show them all of the kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
And he could see the glory in them. But he was showing him the glory of these kingdoms in order to try to entice him and seduce him for power.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. That's interesting that the thing he tempted him with was power. He first tempted him with food. He tempted him with power. When you look at mankind, that's the two most valuable things to I'm talking about to men. Is to be able to sustain himself and to have some type of power.
Yes.
That's why you'll find a lot of men who go on this power trip, even with their women, especially us black men, because we've been stripped of that organic power for so long. The minute we get an ounce of it, we end up being the very Europeans that we talk against. So there's two sides to power.
Yes, sir.
There is two sides, but you can either have it the righteous and organic way, or you can have it the corrupt European way. And the thing about European, the spirit behind that is tyranny.
Yes.
The spirit behind that is tyrancy, where you sit on your throne and everybody else starts to work for you. No different than we see Solomon's son, right? He didn't want to listen to the elders.
Right.
You know what I mean? He starts to taking the Babylonian way of just having a strong, he wanted to make sure he had a point to be a damn narcissist and a tyrant.
Yes, sir.
My hand gonna be on y'all harder than my father's was. Y'all ain't gonna even think to say his name no more. Because he was on a power trip.
Yeah.
So there's two sides.
Pride is always considered to be lifted up or exalted.
Yeah.
Because if you exalt yourself, Yah will humble you. Right. So mountains deal with loftiness, they deal with high place, they deal with exaltation. And so even like what Mikhail was saying in the beginning, what is the different things that a mountain can mean?
Yeah.
It can mean pride. Right. If we look in the book of Obadiah, what mountain did Esau sit on? Mount Seir. You see what I'm saying? So that was there. That was the place of his loftiness. And then we always see Esau being associated with being on the sides of mountains or the crags of the mountains. Right? But that can also represent pride, but it also represent their place of there, and this is metaphoric what I'm using, like, right? It's a similitude, and it could be literal, like, right? Because we know that the Horites, right? They were cave dwellers, right? And we know that Esau mingled with the Horites, right? Okay. But also, what do they say in war? Who usually wins war? The people who have the high ground. You have the high ground, right? So lots of times these people would establish these different. When you look at governments, and then that's when we read in Ephesians 6. He tells us about being, high places or principalities in high places. I'm messing with you.
No, you good. You good.
So when we look at that, it's talking about being able to gain the advantage of being able to see. Yeah. See, when we're down here, just hustling and caught up in the rat race of trying to survive, these people have the advantage because they situate themselves above us, right? In a position where they can see. So when you got perspective and you can perceive things, you can move things around. You can orchestrate, right? You could look in the mountain and say, man, okay, yeah, I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, this is working. We can move this city over here. We can move this like this, right? So just think about it from a position of having a place of authority and power.
I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of when you see movies where, like, the villain who's got power, the CEO or whatever, he's in a high rise looking down.
He's always looking down, right? So we see that in every day, right? That represents you in a place of authority, especially in this society, civilization. You got the corner build, you got the corner office, right? When you're in the corner office, you can see you got panoramic view.
Right.
You can see from the west to the south or to the north or the east, depending on the side of the building you're on.
Right.
Right. But all of these different things play out in everyday society. So even when these people are actually going down and doing secret meetings, and they may go to the bottom of the mountain or in the cavern, that don't mean that makes them low.
Right.
That means they're going into the hiding places so they can actually do strategy. Right? To formulate strategy and plans to where they're going to drive the nations and go. So when you see Yah talk about all of these different nations, he's talking about these mountains. He's talking about these people who have elevated or exalted themselves against us normal everyday people.
And my conspiracy theory, I believe that's why I don't believe it was necessarily them, but I believe the visualization of it was to spike a war. But even the Twin Towers, they that was supposed at that time the biggest buildings in New York, and that represent when you're attacking the biggest building, it's a sign I'm tearing your kingdom down. If especially you understood what the purpose of the Twin Towers was, why I believe the government personally actually attacked the buildings themselves to obviously go to war with Afghanistan and all of them anyway. But I say all that to say is that even to knock a building down, to attack, is a sign that I'm trying to destroy your kingdom. When they came into Jerusalem, which is the highest place in Israel, what did they do? They destroyed it. And Yeshua told us to do what? When it happens, go where? Right. So we see that this form of a mountain, it has a nature of itself that we're supposed to learn from. Even in this very society that we in now, all these high buildings, right? I guarantee when they really pop off, that's gonna be the first thing that's attacked is them buildings. Let them know what time it is. But anyway, so that's what we got for kingdoms. So now let's go to the next phase of a character of a mountain, which is the trial and test of your faith. Let's go to Matthew 21. We'll start at verse 21.
Book of Matthew 21 and 21. Yeshua answered and said unto them, truly I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not.
Say it again.
If you have faith and doubt not.
You have faith and doubt not. Come on.
Ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree.
Now, what did he do to the fig tree? He cursed it, right? So he's talking about now the power of your tongue, right? And the power of your faith, most important. Mm-hmm. If you can believe that you can do these things, what you see that I've done to the fig tree, not only will you do, but what?
Oh, I'm sorry. But also, if he shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done.
Now let's put this in a better perspective. We went through the metaphorical side of what a mountain could be. Mm-hmm. So wherever you take this physical or metaphorical, it means the same thing. That when you in a mountain could be your problems, it could be a disease, it can be the kingdom of darkness, it can be sin, it can be transgression that you're struggling with. Whatever that mountain is for you, if you actually have the faith and doubt not that you can remove it and cast it away. We see that when there was certain diseases, the legion. Remember the man who had legions? Right. He cast out into what? In a herd of swine, right? So you have the power because Yeshua said, what? Greater work shall you what? You do. If you what? Believe. If you have faith and doubt not that you have the power literally to cast out a person who got, let's say, got Alzheimer's or got diabetes. You have the actual power, even if it's your boss, if he's doing anything unjustly against you, to go to your God in faith and ask him, can you remove this problem? You have the power. If you know your family's in a situation, so much as you believe to ask God to change it, and he will. He said, does my hand lack? Because his hand is where? On the mountain. On the mountain. Because that's another mean side. Tsade means side. Side can represent hand or arm. Who's the right hand or arm of Yah? Which we still going back to what? His word. So it's through his word that these things of being able to climb a mountain, going through these trials and tribulations that we're going through, that we're able to see the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. You don't think Moses went through things as he went up that mountain? He first met Yah in the middle of the mountain. Mm-hmm. For the ground you walk on is what? Holy. Mm-hmm. You got to take off your shoes when you come to Yah. Cleanse yourself. Because the God that you come is not an unjust or unholy God. Therefore, you cannot come unjust or unholy. You see that?
Yes, sir.
You want to walk the path of Yah? Prepare yourself for temptation. Ooh. You really want to walk the path of Yah? Prepare yourself for temptation. Because whatever you were struggling with in the world, Yah going to make sure it's out of you before you come see it. Matter of fact, he gonna make sure it's just like this. I'm gonna give y'all an example. We're gonna go a little scientific real quick. Biochemical, right? Is a sickness really a sickness? Think about it. Is a sickness really a sickness? In essence of, is it really there to truly harm you?
Your body trying to get rid of it?
It's actually the opposite. It is, in a sense, yes. But the other sense, like a fever. Is a fever bad or good?
It's good.
It's good. But we've been taught that it is bad.
It's fighting infection.
Fighting infections. No, but people will label fever as an actual sickness.
No, I'm saying it's your body trying to get rid of it. So the fever,
but I'm saying fever itself is not sickness. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? People will label the fever itself as sickness, not realizing the fever is actually there to help you fight against whatever has eroded in you. Right. So when we actually look at the symptoms that we go through, the trials that we go through that may seem like it hurt, that may seem like I'm losing, that may seem like I'm having a hard time getting over it, it's actually there to make you stronger. You follow me? It's there to make you stronger, to realize if you actually have the faith to overcome, you can overcome it. So when you actually look at while you're going up the mountain and you find yourself, maybe that your problem was lust. And all of a sudden, as you finally intentionally want to fight women, now all these women coming out of nowhere. And now you're looking at me, I can't even get over this, man. I just keep struggling. Every time they come, man, I'm just failing. Nah, it's just y'all trying to strengthen you, your spirituality and your immunity even more. He's trying to actually make you more immune to women. Be able to overcome that lust. So he had, for him to be able to see, not only have you pass the test, but to even allow you to see where you're weak at, he will throw more women at you. It ain't that the women is the sickness. They're actually there to make you stronger. Maybe Yah told you not to eat meat, right? We know meat is not a sin, but maybe he told you like, what was Daniel, give up that for a time, right? And he put you in a situation now. All these barbecues coming up, feast days coming up.
Free lunch at school. I mean, lunch at
work. All of a sudden, all these things that never was sold.
Pork either straight up. They got the best beef brisket.
Best beef brisket, salmon all fried and good. Everything that you would eat is there all of a sudden. And you say that, man, why the devil tempted me? No, it's Yah trying to strengthen you. It ain't the devil, it's Yah actually putting it in your face to see, are you going to abide by my word? Or are you going to eat on the bread of life and not the bread of your flesh? Because it is only through my bread that you're able to live and flourish and find eternity. Bread perish and mold. My word living forever. So I'm saying, so we can change the perspective. It's not always that it's Satan. It's not always that that you just getting tempted to sin.
And even when it is Satan, that don't mean it ain't Yah.
It don't mean it ain't Yah. But I'm saying that from a perspective, because sometimes we be trying to put that energy on everything else except ourselves. Because black people, as a whole, we lack accountability. We don't want to be accountable for a damn thing. A damn thing. A damn thing. And let's not even get on the battle of black man and black woman, because black women definitely don't want to be accountable for a damn thing. I'm just being honest with you. Boy, man will take it like we got, as soon as you, but what about y'all? What about y'all?
What about you?
Rightfully so. Because at the end of the day, it is going to take the men to change everything. But the reality, I'm just trying to show you as a people, even on a microcosmic level, boy, we lack accountability. Satan tempted me. But I thought the scripture say, y'all don't tempt you.
You can be tempted.
I thought he said don't tempt you. So why is it not a test? That's the only way you're going to be able to get over it. We did it in school. You understand the method in school. You go through a course a semester of learning. In between time, you take quizzes, right? By the end of the semester, you're taking a what? A test. We understand that methodology in school, but when it comes to the school of Yah University, we don't understand it.
Nice.
Yeah, the little papa quiz. You pass the little papa, oh yeah, we good. I passed, that's it. Then the big one comes. Then the big one. Then that 1-5 illustrious woman comes. She dropping everything that you want to hear. Knowing that right now you can't deal with it. But she said everything that you want to hear. Ain't that crazy how that happened? You trying to submit yourself to Yah's will and be disciplined. All of a sudden this woman comes saying everything you like to hear. I'm talking about everything. Everything in your flesh and in the spirit. She dropping all type of knowledge on the scriptures. She just got this servitude type of heart. I'm willing to do anything when a man, a man is my master. She said all that good holy stuff. Knowing Negro, you ain't in the place to even handle that. But because it sounds good and you say, oh, this got to be y'all. It is, but it's not in the way you think. He trying to see if you're gonna go to the side and, you know, discontinue the course, as if he didn't tell you to go on a fast and stop dealing with these women. And it's not to say that the woman is bad. She's used to be part of the test. That's it. So I'm saying when we on our journey with Yah, we have to have faith. Even because guess what? When Yah sees that let's use that example again. Yah can see that you can overcome that. He actually may bring her right back around when you're ready. And she really may be that one, but Yah telling you she is, but you ain't ready for that yet. But he want to see if you're gonna be tempted enough to do it anyway. So I'd be the first to tell you, I've definitely been in that situation and failed. Done failed terribly. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, damn, y'all, you right. Me being goddamn hasty. It just is what it is. But when you submit to Yah obedient, it ain't like he gonna take the promise. He promised it to you already. It's really on you if the promises get taken away or not. So when we look at faith and the fiery trial of our faith, it's really through the things that Yah wants us to overcome and see how strong you is in him. So now that we got over the faith, now we're gonna get over the character of a trail or a journey. Now, what do y'all think a trail or a journey consists of? Endurance, right? Endurance. What else?
Staying on the path.
Staying on the path. What else? Having the right supplies. Good. What else?
Consistency. I mean, that's kind of the same thing.
No, good. Consistency. Come on. Because you can stay on the trail and not be consistent. You can pause.
Not compromising.
There it is. Not compromising. Not turning left or right. What else? Preparation. You got to prepare for a journey, right? So what the first thing you're talking about, checking your bag, making sure you got all your supplies, right? So let's go to 1 Peter 1. So what I got for character, trail, and journey, we got trial and test, faith. You can find yourself lonely on this trail. Endurance, right? And then pretty much everything else y'all said. So we're going to deal with trial and test, and we're going to deal with faith.
Got that 1-on-1?
Yes, sir.
Peter, an apostle of Yeshua HaMashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of Elohim.
I'm sorry. Drop down to 7. Even though we could.
1 Peter 1:7. That the trial of your faith, let's start at 6.
Yeah, well, we could have.
Wherein you greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations.
Right. So that goes back to what Elder was talking about, right? Once you get to that middle of the mountain, most people turn around. They quit, right? And it's through, right? He said, though now for a season, if need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptation, right? So we see along this journey, we're going to have moments and seasons of rejoicing, but there's going to be times where it's heaviness, right? When we're going through things, right? We always talk about that, right? There's different seasons for rejoicing, and there's different seasons for trial, right? Getting tried. And what the trial or the heaviness of that trial is what? Temptation, right? So I don't know about anybody else, but have you ever had a season where you just going real good, and all of a sudden everything just start coming up? And you going through this thing for a season, you trying to figure out why am I going through this? Why are all these things arising right now? And then there's a season where you kind of finally, glad that's over, right? We all go through, because each season, believe it or not, look at it as a phase. Each phase comes with different trials and tests. This journey never ends until you go rest with your fathers. And that's one thing we got to make up in our mind. That it's never going to get super easier, nor is it ever going to get super, super hard. Y'all going to always bring it right to a point that you can handle it. He ain't never going to put you in a place where it's just totally out of your hand and you just destroy it. He going to always give you something that you can handle. And that should give you more faith enough, because if he believes that you can handle that, that means he know you got the strength in you to do it. Right? So that heaviness through manifold temptation. Keep going.
That the trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold, that perisheth though it be tried, with fire might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Let's start right there. So this heaviness through manifold temptation, the purpose of it is the trial of your what?
Faith.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that trial is considered like fire. Now, what's the elements of fire?
Fire is,
what can it do?
Oh, it can burn.
It can burn, consume.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Purge.
Mm-hmm. It can take away. Another thing it can do is cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we really going over this? Because we have to get out of the mindset that everything is supposed to be glitter and gold once coming into this world.
Yes.
I'm hearing it more and more and more. This life is terrible. This life is boring. I feel restricted. I feel all these things, not knowing that that's your test to overcome. Not knowing that really the thing that you really want in life is actually over the hill. It's actually over the hill. Y'all just try to see, can you go up first? Can you even get up there first? Then at the top is everything you want. Believe it or not. I always use Solomon for an example. He didn't pray for cars. He didn't pray for money. He didn't pray to kill his enemies. What did he pray for? Wisdom. And guess what? Through him praying for that, what did y'all give him? Everything that a natural man would want, because the one thing that he knew would keep him was what? Wisdom. So maybe when you're going through a fiery trial of your faith, that you ask for what? Wisdom. Maybe when you're struggling with sin and transgression, you should ask for what? Wisdom. When you're going through temptation, you should be asking for what? Wisdom. The problem is we're praying for all the wrong things. And we're not asking y'all how to overcome this in wisdom and not by our own strength. It comes with the territory of serving Yah. He's not giving it to us easy no more. When he did that, we still see it.
Can we highlight trial?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're going to touch on that.
No, go ahead.
And this is, we should know this, right? But sometimes we just got to delve into a particular word so we can extrapolate a little bit more clarity out of what is being shown us or being illustrated to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Yes.
What you see?
I just thought like, it's probably heading towards that. It said the trial. When I read it, when I just honed in on it, I kind of pictured like a courtroom, but it counted the measure like of your faith. That's being weighed, I guess, right? In the balance. That's
Document, right? That's what it means in Greek, right? You said the trial of your faith, right? So it means trustworthiness, testing, right? Trustworthiness. So if your faith is on trial, what is y'all really trying to see out of you? What? Huh?
How trustworthy you are, to where like if you can handle the little things, then he can give you bigger things.
Give you bigger things, right? So the trial, the purpose of the trial by faith is to prove your trustworthiness. How much can he put on you? How much can you carry? How much load? How strong are you to carry the bearing weight of that trial or that testing or that proving? You see what I'm saying? So the faith, right? The faith is the strength that you need to go through that trial or the proving of trustworthiness. You get it? So everything we go through, that is a trial, right? And usually trials are time-based.
Yeah.
The hard part about most trials is the time. You know what I mean? Is the time it takes to get from one point to another.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So anybody who trains, like Mikael running, he put on a weight belt to be that, a weight vest to be to add additional resistance to the trial of getting miles in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the minute he make a commitment that I'm going to do 3 miles, then what's being tried? His trustworthiness to do 3 miles, 4 miles, whatever commitment he made, right? So he added the burden, right, by putting on a weight vest, right? But is what's being put on trial? Is it just the running, or is it the commitment? It's the commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the commitment that he said, I'm going to do 3 miles. That is the commitment. Therefore, the faith is there to say, when I get my weakest and I'm probably at my last 0.5 mile, am I going to follow through? Right? And he's testing himself to see how trustworthy he is to his word, to his dedication. Or as he said in the beginning, he said his discipline. Right? Right now, he's speaking to saying he's putting his discipline on trial. Right? How trustworthy is it when we fast as a group and we all agree? We're saying how trustworthy is each individual corporately to handle the fast, to do what they say they're going to do.
Individual project.
It's the individual thing, but we all agree we're going to fast for this many days, right? And if we do it, then guess what? We've proven that we're that much more trustworthy with our commitment. Okay? So when Yah's putting us on trial, don't ever think there's any trial he don't give you that he doesn't give you the faith.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Every trial comes equipped with the necessary faith to get through. Right? So he said, but if you're weak, if your faith is little, if your faith is small, then you ain't gonna be able to do it. But you have to embrace the faith.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be seized by the faith that, okay, if Yah told me to do it, then I know he must be on the other side of that thing, cheering me on, believing that I got everything it takes to make it. Right?
Okay.
So when he's saying the trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold, that perisheth, though it perisheth, right? It be tried with fire, might be found unto praise. Right? See, we receive the reward when we finish what we started, then we get the praise.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But he said it's more precious than gold, because why? What you're doing when Yah gives you a trial by faith, that means you're storing up something in the heavens.
Okay.
Right? You're being noted as the righteous among him. Right? But every time we fall, we make a commitment, and Yah says, using an example about having issues with women, right? Especially if we're out there and we have that natural proclivity. We've opened ourselves up to being lustful. And we can't. All of us war with, and for us men, we know we all, for those of us especially, have opened ourselves up to being promiscuous. Right? We know that there's a certain natural propensity for us to give into that and be justified in doing it, because we're just men, right? And we're just men. We're men. We just do that, right? So when we use that as an example, and Yah put us in those situations, and why he would put us in those situations, because at that point now, your trustworthiness is being put on trial. When you say, hey, you know what? I want to live for you, Yah. I don't want to be the same man that I used to be. I don't want to be the old man. Then okay, let's see.
Right.
Let's see if you really mean that. Let's see if you really don't want to be the man that you used to be. Okay, let's see. Right? But if you make it, you come out it on the other side, then guess what? You gain currency in the kingdom.
That's a fact.
You gain currency in the kingdom. Why? Because now your name is among the righteous and the faithful. Hallelujah.
Okay. And just to speak to that, like, even what I'm doing now, like, once I got past that 2-week hump of just discipline, it's just certain things I don't even desire no more. And I'm more aware of not allowing certain things in my space. Because once you get out there, and you know, when you went to your cleanse, it's like, you know what, I don't even want to get set back like that no more. Because I know if I do that, I'm gonna get set back. I gotta get right back on this horse. I know on the other side, and we all do this, right? And whether that be sin or just disappointing yourself. When you do it, you be like, damn, man, damn, I feel bad. Damn, I just disappointed myself. And that's the worst feeling in the world. Because usually what follows that is like, man, I ain't gonna never get over this.
I'm trying to get where you are as far as the cardio, right? So brother,
You get 1 mile.
I started with jumping jacks.
Ain't no wrong with that.
And bro, I'm gonna put it like this. And it's ironic how tied run it is to the heart. Right? Because it's running is totally dependent on the health of the cardiovascular system. Right? Get that blood pumping, right? And if your heart is like if your heart has not been strengthened to carry the burden of running at a certain pace, your cardiovascular is going to be overloaded with trying to pump that oxygen through, right? But spiritually, you have to push past a certain limit, developing your cardiovascular system, where it's so mental, pushing past that point, that threshold, where your body now actually begins to get endorphins from it.
Yeah.
Right? Where your body actually starts rewarding you for running. Huh?
I was mentioning that to him,
Run is high. But if you get to a certain point, you'll actually start getting rewarded. Your body actually start dumping endorphins into you, so you'll get exhilarated.
Yeah.
But that initial resistance starts where your body is like, brother, you know you fat and lazy. You know you ain't supposed to be running like this. You know you only did 10 jumping jacks in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You know all that. So the warfare in your mind goes, because guess what? That is a trial to break into getting in that level of athleticism or endurance, because but you won't ever get the reward of the endorphin. Right? You'll never get that endorphin. It's like when your body's rewarding you, I'm gonna reward you for treating me good. Huh? Yeah, start loving you. Then you start getting them endorphins. Your body start like, okay, you ready? Like a dog waiting to take that walk when you get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, you like, okay, now I'm ready to get home. And that's why you just see them little white men out there running like faithfully every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they be getting it in.
Because why? They want that endorphin done.
You
know what I'm saying?
And I can speak to that too. Like, I'm gonna tell you what got me through it. And I think this it is relative to what we're talking about. The first thing I had to do is be honest with myself. And what I mean by that is that for the last couple of years, I only probably do like 1 or 2 miles. So taking this challenge on for me to really fulfill it, which I knew I wasn't because of Shabbat, like 4 times out of the week, so I know I ain't gonna run every day. But you got to do 3.3 miles at the minimum to do 100 miles in a month. I said, all right, how do I do this? How do I be honest with myself? Well, I only did 1 and 2 miles in the last couple of years, consistently. I know I can't just bust out 3 running. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be honest and say I can't do that straight up, but I'll run, and when I feel like I can't, I'll walk. I walk. What I'm saying, because with my honesty, it was able for me to be able to truthfully pace myself. And sometimes we come into this walk and this is actually part of the journey. We compare ourselves to how fast somebody else is doing it. You know, and then we try to do the same pace and your ass get burnt out quick. And you sitting there trying to, how did they do that? Because they did a certain regimen based upon their honesty to themselves. And sometimes we have to be honest, or all the time we need to be honest with ourselves and say, I'm not there yet, but I know where I need the destination I need to get to, and that's what I'm trying to get to. You know what I mean? Therefore, what do I need to do so I can get there, regardless of how it look? Regardless of how it look.
Messy as that.
How do I get there? Regardless. I may not come glorified like Solomon. I may have to come a little dirty like David. You know what I mean? I may have to get down and dirty like that. But hey, I'm going to get there. I may not be able to just leave like Abraham. I may not. I may have to take that 40-year pace. But as long as I get there, that's the most important part of the journey, is getting there. Not exactly how it looks so long as y'all's on the path, but I just need to get there. So when it comes to this journey, y'all, stop comparing, and that's another element we're going to get to, that we all are different. We in the same room, but believe it or not, we on different paths. His destiny is not mine, but we're partnered together because it's going to a certain direction, which is really the same direction. He may be the east side of the tabernacle. I may be the north. Both lead to the holies of holies. You may be the west. He may be the south. But both still lead to the holies of holies. And at the end of the day, both of y'all at the end still need your shoe to get to the holies of holies. So stop comparing your life or path to somebody else's, because it may not look as glorified.
Yeah. If I get that, I mean, I know we're talking about mountains, right?
Yeah.
To stay within the context of the lesson and conversation. So we're talking about mountains, right? Mountains is always going to deal with something that's momentous, something that's big, that's large. When you see it, it's most definitely bigger than yourself.
Yep.
Right? And that could be a mountain in your life, something that's simply bigger than yourself. Like 4 miles to me is a serious mountain for me. I love the gym. I could do HIIT weight training. I could do HIIT. I could run circuits. I could go from here to here to here, and I could get my cardio going. But the minute something about these legs picking up and going and digging into the concrete, the treadmill's cheating to me. The treadmill can start you, but all you're doing is moving your legs. But when you're actually moving weight forward, you're using more muscle group.
Yeah.
Right? Because under the treadmill, the ground moving. Right? But when you running the weight and the ground ain't moving nowhere. Right? So you're traversing the ground. You're literally moving on the ground. So what I'm saying that's momentous. That's big for me, right? But the most successful men are the men that love being uncomfortable. Right? As they say, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Put
yourself in situations where you are uncomfortable. That's where men master themselves. That's where Yah masters us.
Okay.
He masters us in those places where we're uncomfortable. We think we're not supposed to be comfortable with Yah. When you come in, Yah, you're literally saying, prepare yourself for temptation, for trials, right? You're preparing, you coming in this world. We think it's supposed to be something else. No, Yah's going to put you in the most diverse, challenging environment that is going to be there to press the weakness out of you. If your weakness is women, he could go 2 ways. He could put you around a bunch of women, or he could put you around no women when your little ego get crushed, right? Where women don't even look at you. You was known for having this swag or whatever, right? But then he could put you in a place where you realize, man, that doesn't even matter no more, right? Like, I don't even see that. Or whatever it is that makes you weak in his sight, that's the thing that he's going to confront you with. That is going to become your opposition. You see what I'm saying? That's going to become your opposition. If you just can't be quiet and you got to talk and have your peace, he's going to put you in situations where he's going to have people putting their finger in your face until you learn how to humble yourself and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where you go, you're gonna face that. You're gonna face that type of opposition.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because that's your mountain.
Mm-hmm.
That's your mountain. That's your mountain that you got to get over or through or around, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. That's the journey.
That's the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the path. But we got to get over this delusion that somehow coming in the no, you're coming up against the being that has the highest of standards.
Okay.
Huh? He has the highest of standards. Nobody's standards is going to outbeat his in this earth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with something holy,
mm-hmm.
something that's pure, something that has no sin in it. And you're asking to qualify before him.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in sports? No, you don't make the team unless you qualify.
Yep.
Then the training begins. You know what I mean? The real training begins.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't even qualify until you even qualify to be on a real team.
Right.
You don't even get to show up to training.
Mm-hmm.
So we think because we make it past qualification, we think, no, brother, it just began. You just started.
If you're really involved with sports, you know that every game is a test of your job.
Oh, yeah.
Every game is a test of your job.
See if you get to play.
Yeah. So however you play last game will determine if you play next game. Yep.
Don't get dotted up.
Mm-hmm.
Put that red dot on you.
Yeah.
Lack of effort.
It's examination day.
We get dotted up.
Yeah, and that's how y'all put us on display, calling that. Yeah, you ain't really like that.
Right.
Oh yeah, look at K. Yep, slow ass feet. Mm-hmm. Ain't moving, ain't feeling the hole. And that's
looking busy though.
Yeah, looking busy. And y'all do the same thing. He ain't like that. He's still sinning.
Yeah,
he's still dealing with women, y'all. That's how it works. Or he exalts you, and he allowed the people to testify of you. You see what I mean? So there's duality to this journey.
Yes, sir.
So let's go to Matthew 7. Now we're going to deal with the other element of journey. Remember, the theme is an individual project with group effort. This is a lonely walk in some way, because at the end of the day, he got to go sleep by himself with y'all. You got to go sleep by yourself with y'all. Here's the crazy part. He could be going to sleep right next to his wife, and in the spiritual realm, he's still by himself. So at the end of the day, whether it be wife or husband, brethren or sisterhood, your child or yourself, at the end, it's on you. It's on you.
It's delusional to think that you get a wife, all your answers go, all your questions will be answered.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality is that Yah is going to prove you to be a husband.
Yep.
He's not proving you to just be a little partner in a thing called a relationship or marriage. No, the minute you become a husband, your challenge becomes: are you becoming the best husband you can be?
Let me challenge your mastery.
Let me challenge your mastery. Let me see how well you are. Let me see what kind of diplomat you are in your home. Let me see what kind of man, are you a compromiser? Are you easily swayed? Are you easily compromised when your wife want to eat you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you just go with the flow? Or can you stand 10 toes down? Or are you so puffed up that when you actually hear wisdom come out of your wife, you can submit to the Yah in her?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Can you listen? But as a man, as a husband, first you got to be a man. Then when you become a husband, that's a whole nother realm.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? You can't compete with your wife based on how you are as a man. In other words, when you get in those Me Too arguments with your wife, you're out of your role at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all comparing what each other have done.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are the husband. You know what I'm saying? If y'all going back and forth about who's doing what, and your wife is able to actually win that fight, which in most cases she would, because you wouldn't even be having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, you ain't even have that conversation with your wife.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Why would you?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you? Only way you would be is if you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a man. Because as a leader, you're supposed to be so far ahead. A lot of that emotional stuff. You're supposed to be like, I'm gonna listen. Okay, boom. You're right. You know what? You're right about it. But at the end of the day, we still go. This is where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. That's it right there.
That's the
You know what I'm
story.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or like it could be, like, yes, you know what? I've been perplexed about some things. And this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going through this, whatever. What you think, babe? And if she and you're at your wit's end, if there's counsel in her, you're able to acquiesce to it. Like, that's wise. I'm good with that. You're right about that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
But the challenge is y'all is never going to challenge you to be the best woman when you're the husband.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. He's never going to challenge you to do that.
Right. That's a fact.
I know that's weird because that should be common sense. But if you're present in the persona, in the female, in a feminine, in a relationship, then you are persona. You're in the wrong chair. Okay. You're in the wrong position, and there's no reason in the world y'all should be having some comparative analysis about one another. Right. Mm-hmm. Your role as a man is to be the guide and the husband, right? And that's all you're going to be judged by y'all. So everything that you're going through, God's going to be having you go through that as the husband. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that irrelevant to the conversation?
No, I think it's very relevant because there's no such thing as equality in a marriage.
No.
So even the path of being a husband is different than the path of being a wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's a certain, even the sacrifice of being a husband is different than the sacrifice of being a wife. So there is really no comparison to it. And I agree with you. When you get in that element, it's either what he said or the reality is y'all not really equally yoked. And you may find yourself having had some missteps that you as a man didn't even realize. Right. And really at the end of the day, it's really on you to make sure that you fix those missteps. You know what I mean? So with that being said, going to the next character of a journey is lonely. So let's go to Matthew 7:13.
Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide the gate and broad the way that leadeth to destruction.
Right. So wide the gate and broad the way, that means you got wiggle room, right? You can kind of get away with things and do whatever you want. That's a lot of wiggle room. Got a lot of wiggle room, and that's exactly what Satan does. He remember we always talk about this. What's it called? The law. What's his name?
Do as thou wilt.
Do as thou wilt. Right. That's really the broad. That's really the wide gate. Well, you can do anything you would. There ain't gonna be nothing to bump you or push you back on course. It's just you can got all this wiggle room to do what you want. Right. But that's the path that lead to destruction.
Yes, sir.
But then you said many there be which go there in thereafter. Right. And so I don't think that you may not be the one who's literally pledging to Satanists and being part of these occultic groups. You could just simply be in disobedience. It's not disobedient or rebellion a form of witchcraft. You could be rebellious in what y'all told you to do. You ain't gotta have no wife. You ain't gotta have no organization. It's just y'all told you to do something, you didn't do it. That's a form of rebellion, which is witchcraft. You think y'all looks at the witchcraft of a cult different than the witchcraft of you being rebellious? No, it's the same thing in his book. Witchcraft is witchcraft. Rebellion is rebellion. Is there different forms of it? Absolutely, but it's the same result. So don't think because you may not be in some high status like that you still not in some type of witchcraft or rebellion. It's still going to that's the crazy. It's still going on the same path. It's still going on the same path.
The broad way is really, when you really think about it in its pure essence, it's the land of feelings. It's the land of feelings. It's the wonderful place of feelings. No, it is. It's a place of feelings. It's the land of feelings. It's the way I feel today.
Yeah.
Y'all tell you to do something, your feelings is gonna be in opposition.
Yep.
Because when you I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just think about it like it's the land of feelings. It's the wonderful place of feelings.
That's all it is. What you feel today, how you feel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't feel that's right. I don't believe everything that Bible says. I believe some of it. I believe some of it's got some good principles, but the way I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really need that to tell me what to do.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, look at it. Ain't that the whole thing right now? It's the land of feelings, because guess what? The Broadway is now, you could be a whole goddamn man right now if you're a woman.
Right.
You could be a whole man and be a woman and think you could be a woman. It is all based on your feelings.
Okay.
You got women, you got men knocking women out in the ring. And he gets to do this based on how he feels. But if one of you assault your wife, you're going to be arrested because a man shouldn't be hitting a woman. You see how crazy this world is now? You would get arrested for assaulting your wife, but what if I say, man, you know what? I just felt like, man, well, why would you assault a woman? Well, I wasn't feeling that way at the time. I was actually feeling like a woman. Huh? So you get in trouble based on your feelings as a man, but if you feel like you're a woman, you could be. You know what? I feel like I want to go into a woman's bathroom. How about that? I'm a 12-year-old. Yeah.
At my job, we went over the benefits package for like health and all that. One of those incentives on there was transgender transformation. The company will pay for your transformation to be a man.
So you actually get paid. They'll pay for your transformation, huh? Ain't that something?
Crazy. I did one of the cars like, whoa.
Everybody looked up. Everybody, but you did what everybody was thinking.
That's crazy.
We're in the land of feelings now, man.
You go 14.
Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few be there that find it.
You see that? So there's not many, right? And we don't know what few means to y'all, right? We can only kind of think about what few means to us, but we can see, yeah. But I'm saying as far like to actually like number it, like you don't really know, right? But the reality is that are you on the few or are you on the many side? Just because you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite and you keep Shabbat don't mean you're on the path of the few. Don't mean you're on the path of the upright. Direct Yashar, that means the way of upright. Don't mean you there. Just because you label yourself as you don't even, first of all, you don't even know you're a Canaanite. If you're an Israelite, you just know that this word resonates with you and it feels good. Feelings, right? It feels good. You finally found something. But the minute it actually causes you to change, is now you want to change the doctrine. Anything that causes me to change my feelings, I don't want it. Right? That's what we think. So, but with Yah, it causes you to change. It actually causes you to get spiritually skinny. I'm serious. Cause you get spiritually skinny. You gotta get thin on them. If you think you about to come in here like what's his name? Damon. Think about to come in here like Damon, all broad and wide, it's a wrap. You gotta get skinny on it. You know what I mean? Because it's a tight space.
You got that big back.
You got, hey, I had no big back on this narrow path. You gotta get skinny, boy. Straight and narrow, boy. We ain't dealing with no bendables.
No, can't be
We're not dealing with no bendables. It gotta be straight and narrow.
Ain't going there quick.
You can't get there all flamboyant and bendable, man. So with this path, and I'm saying that because at the end of the day, you know what Yah tells Elder, he may tell me differently, but nothing's wrong with neither one of those, so long as it's not in a conflict, right? And if it's you know it's not gonna be in conflict, because if he brung it together, can't no man put it apart. See what I mean? What I put together, can no man put asunder. So we all come together, and we've been standing the test of time. Praise Yah for us almost 6 years. right? Even with our little mishaps and things that we've had issues with, y'all still kept this thing together. Mm-hmm. So we know that every person's divine purpose and mission at this point is aligned. Now it's really your duty to stay on that path to stay here, or whenever he may set you apart, like Paul and yeah. Well, now it's time to go. But we see that wasn't a bad thing because y'all word got to get planted in different areas. I mean, but there's a duality to that because at the end of the day, is he putting you asunder because he's dispersing his word, or is he putting you asunder because you a rotted root? You know what I mean? It's two sides to it. So that's the lonely. Understanding that, again, I keep repeating this because y'all got to understand this. Individual project or group effort. Y'all own y'all path. You got it, but you have to know what that is with y'all. So now let's go to the other element. Seeing that we on different paths, making sure we do not compare our path to somebody else. Let's go to Galatians 6. Galatians 6:1. Galatians 6:1. For those on the live chat, can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still following us? Galatians 6:1. We'll start there.
The book of Galatians 6:1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
You see what I mean? And that's the group effort part. We all going through different paths. We're experiencing different things simultaneously at the same time. And we all got different struggles. The purpose of the group effort is when we see that one of us is falling, that we should be able to deal with that brother with the spirit of meekness to win him over, to let him see the path that you're going is not the path that Yah's assigned you on. That's why we're here. It's not to rule over you and have this type of power of you, because at the end of the day, you're not our flock, you Yah's flock. But we are here to assist you. We are here to guide you in different aspects. And through that comes correction. Sometimes you may have to bump somebody back in line. Sometimes you may have to pull them back in line. But you do it in love and in meekness. Because you want to see, like Paul, all of our prayers should be what? Paul said, my prayer is that all Israel shall be saved. Our prayer amongst each other shall everybody who's associated or in Echad Malkut shall be saved. But that comes with group effort, knowing that this person has an individual path. And we have to make sure, even as leaders, that we don't even get in the way of that path. And sometimes it's a hard thing sitting in this seat, because sometimes you may see from a perspective of they may be going down the path that's not right. So we even have to have a spirit of discernment to see that, right? And that's the whole point of eldership, is because we should be able to foresee what Yah has intended for you, right? And we've experienced that through elder, right? And he only can do so much, so he got to be like, well, I warned you, I told you. You got to go down your path and figure it out. Over there. So let's keep going. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. Go upstairs now. Let's keep going.
Verse 2. Bear ye one another burden.
Do what?
Bear ye one another's burden.
Right. So Zakai's burden is not my burden, but I'm here to help him with his burden. Because the whole point is we supposed to make the load lighter. Because we're going up this mountain together, but it may just be from different sides. I like to use this quote that I learned. Lift as you climb. Saying going right back to climbing that mountain, right? We all climbing the mountain, but as I'm lifting, if I see your brother that's struggling or a sister that's struggling, it's my job to help you climb it. I'm supposed to help lift you up. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the holy of holy places in the kingdom. Let's keep going.
And so fulfill the law of Hamashiach.
So is he not our master?
Yes, he is.
So this is part of our ordinances with Mashiach, is we are supposed to help you. We are supposed to lift you up as we climb. We are supposed to feel you the joy of the Most High, because he don't want to see none of us destroyed. But at the end of the day, let's just be honest. We should never be putting our salvation on the line for nobody. So at the end of the day, if we know that this is an individual project group effort, and we know that we are all part of this kingdom, you got to be able to bring your own table to the table. Huh? And we supposed to unify so we can create what? A platform. You see that? So understanding that if I know that my path is my path and Yaakov's path is his path, I should never find myself comparing myself comparing myself to Yaakov. Because I cannot do what he does. I cannot live how he lives. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, when you try to live like somebody else, you get nowhere in life. And you're trying to figure out, why am I stuck in the same place? Because you're trying to be somebody else. And you can't be them. Yes, sir.
It's like, I can't be a better Mikhail than you can.
Right.
Yourself, right.
Right.
So I look at that scripture, 2 Corinthians 10 and 12, I think. Those that compare themselves amongst themselves.
Oh, we're going to go there? We're going to go there? Yeah, we're going to go there. But you're right, though. Huh? You know, you can't compare. Anytime you do that, that's not wise. That's what it said. That's not wise. Mm-hmm. Keep
Ready?
It. Uh-huh.
3. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
You see that? So to come in this thing thinking you're supposed to be something or some type of leader, you don't really know what you're supposed to be. And only the ones who really don't want it and been called to are usually the greatest leaders.
That's a fact.
They're usually the greatest ones. The ones who don't want to do it, don't want to touch it, kicking, screaming towards y'all, is usually the best ones. Ain't that right, Echad? Yeah. You're right. I didn't got that to say. You're right. But they're usually the best ones because they like Moses. If you really study, Moses had a fear and trembling doing this, man. He really actually was scared, like to the point he told y'all, man, just kill me, like, bruh, kill me, finish me, like cook me out of here, because I can't do this. And if you ever sit on this side of the table, I kind of, I don't know on that level, but I kind of understand how you feel. Hey, y'all cook me. Hey, I don't want to do this no more. If you called me to do this, and this is what I have to do, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And you know what? He was right. So that's why his behind stood on the mountain. And why is everybody else cross over?
Okay.
You're right, Moses, you're right. You know what? You aren't the guy. But you know what? I'm still going to use you to help the guy I do need. Send up your shoe over here. Send up your whole shoe. I'll have him do it. Don't worry. But because you did such a great job, I will at least allow you to see it with your eyes. I will at least allow you to see it. Go up to this mountain. Let me show you something real quick. Yeah, that's where your brothers and sisters are going to go. But you're going to stay right here, though. You're going to stay here with me. You're going to stay here with me. Do you want to be like that? Because when you're not fulfilling your purpose and walking and fulfilling your individual project, the group leaves. And you sitting there in your sorrows talking about, give me another chance. God forbid. You are exactly right out. He was, but you see at the end of the day, he ain't no respected person. He still had to see it. It don't matter how pleasing. I still asked you to do something how I wanted you to do it.
I guess what I'm saying is he still died righteousness.
You don't know how long he had to stay alive by himself, though. That part. You don't know how long he had to stay alive by himself in that mountain. Just watching him. Probably still watching like, man, look at him, still acting like niggas. God, y'all believe. Let me just, nah, Moses, you gonna sit right here, buddy. You're gonna be right here with me. Right? We all have a purpose, and to think yourself something different than what he told you, it benefits you nothing. Let's keep going.
Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work.
Do what?
Let every man prove his own work.
Come on.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone.
And not what?
In another.
In another. Don't worry about how Mikhail getting it done. What he doing to get it done. How he looking, how he dressing. How he getting it, this, and that. All you need to worry about is your own work. Because you never know. You worrying about me, well, y'all probably got a bigger house for you than me. Mm-hmm. Better car than me. Whatever it is that you desire. The point is, you so focused on somebody else's work, you may not realize that y'all got something better for you. Mm-hmm. That fits you.
Y'all says, let every man serve according to his servability.
Servability.
You must serve according to your servability.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all may not have poured things into you that he's poured into another man, but y'all always offsets it with the accountability.
Yep. Oh, now yeah. That's
You know what I'm
right
saying?
there.
You don't know what that man. Yeah, that man may seem to have this, and this, that, and that. And you looking at the fanfare. You looking at the ooh and the ah, but
Right.
you don't think about the accountability that will crush you.
Or the ass whooping.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, or the chastisement pre, in the middle, and post.
Woo wee. You
don't know the weight that other man may be carrying, right? And that he has not put on you, right? He may not put a certain ability to carry what that person may carry,
right? And
just because they may be doing it seamlessly, it looks seamless, but you don't know the sacrifice that person is paying or has paid to get where they're at.
Okay. Okay.
So but then that causes to go into envy when you do that. The spirit of envy will come on you when you're just looking at when you're just looking at
the show.
When you're just looking at the what's come out of it.
Yeah.
Right? The benefits of it. Right? But you're not considering the cost to get that thing, the discipline it took, right? And this is what Cain did to Abel. He didn't consider what Abel was willing to do. That's why y'all said if you do good will be given to you. Like he's really telling him, like, look at your brother, study him,
right?
Talk to him, see what he did. You know what I'm saying? See what he did right. But if you want to just sit back, yeah, so and so did this, and so got that. Y'all can't be real because it's unfair that he getting this, and this, and this. But you don't know what that man is doing. You don't know why you sitting up there eating potato chips, right?
right.
You watching TV. That man may be grinding at night, only to wake up at 4, 5 in the morning to go and do his regular job, but he burning the midnight oil and doing something else. You don't know. So you don't know what that person is doing to get what they got. Yeah. Huh? And this is why he's telling us right here, don't look, he said, but let every man prove his own work. Yep. So that means you have to know what's in front of you to do. Yep. What's in front of you to do? What's your vision? What's your purpose? What are you being told to do? If you're doing that, then guess what? Your reward is waiting for you when it's all said and done. And said, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. Right. Right. And then there should be a certain satisfaction where you don't even need people to know what you're doing. Yep. I think one of the most dangerous things about social media is everybody needs to know what they're doing. Huh? Is everybody showing off what they're doing. And it's dangerous because you may be getting hearts, you may be getting likes and follows from men, but y'all may be like, bro, that stuff stink to high heaven. That stuff is stinking in my nose right now. Because you like thumbs, you like thumbs and likes, and you pursuing that. That's what I'm gonna let. That's your glory. Then that's your reward. But that don't mean you a part of me. But this social media have you fooled out here, even in ministry. Okay. It'll have us sitting up there thinking that we really doing something. And the devil putting in people, oh man, yeah, that brother Dyer, man, when he talk, boy, you should just listen to him. He just oozes off his lips. And y'all be like, man, this boy here, they don't even know. He a whole mess when he ain't on this camera. He a whole mess. Wife don't like him. Kids don't like him. Nobody trusts him. You know what I'm saying? But in the internet world, you can be whoever you want to be. That's a fact. You see what I'm saying? So we and then even if you got things, right, you're supposed to let another man praise you. That part. That part. Everybody else that comes in contact with you, not even that you boasting, not even you boasting about your thing. People just like Mashiach when he healed the leper. He went straight to the lead. He said, tell no man. Huh? He said, tell no man. He said, go. Tell no man what happened here. That man still ran and told it. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no need to, you know what I'm saying? Because if your reward is in heaven, you don't need every man to know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that, and that's when we get caught up in that whole pride and the what do you say, the what is called, the it's escaping me right now. Basically the accolades of men, the praise of men. There you go, the praise of men means nothing. It's vanity. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Read that verse 5.
For every man shall bear his own burden.
See that? So as we going up this mountain, you got to bear your own. You got to pick up your own cross.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pick up your own weight. You got to carry. You got to carry your own weight. You got to carry your own weight. Now, the purpose of us together is we help the load lighter. Mm-hmm. But it should never be a thing where I'm taking all this weight.
Right.
And I still got to take mine. I got to take all this weight of yours too. While you sitting there light back. Ooh, I feel lighter. I can get up this. I got endurance now. Mm-hmm. While the brother now struggling, even in his own family, because he took on your problem.
Oh, worse. You still acting like your leg broke.
Right.
Sneaking, knowing that man gonna get your weight all the way up that mountain. Mm-hmm. But you still playing hurt, knowing that you feel better.
Right.
There's people who do that, right?
Real talk.
There's people that let you carry your load all the way to the top.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And play fragile. But you haven't gotten strengthened off of it. Mm-hmm. So it's only a matter of time for everybody looking like, bro, I carried this up the mountain last time for you. Mm-hmm. I did this for you last. How many times am I gonna carry your shit?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then he's seeing it. The next thing you know, everybody else seeing it like, I'm kill every time I see you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, your elder, is he really like that man? Seems like he ain't really doing shit. You really the man? He's like, nah, man, I ain't the man. Actually, then everybody around you start seeing the real thing that, like, man, this dude's a fraud. This man he just hanging out. He just want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Man, riding on that young man's strength. But somebody that's really, it's okay. We all have burdens. We all carry things, right? And we should be able to, like, hey, bro, let me take it. I got you for a little bit. But it shouldn't be enough time where you kick in and say, oh, man, give me back my backpack, man. I need that, man. Like, I appreciate you, brother. Mm-hmm. You got me through that moment of weakness. Okay. Now I'm going to finish my course. I'm going to finish my work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep relying on you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because it's eventually you may need me one day. Okay. And if I don't ever get strengthened and strong enough to carry my own weight, guess what happens? I'll never be able to be there for you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Let's go to James 1. How are we going to deal with endurance? We talk about that too, right? Endurance. James chapter 1, verse 12.
You said 1 to 20?
12.
Oh, 1 to 12. Okay. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
That do what?
That endureth temptation.
Uh-huh.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
He should receive what?
The crown of life.
So when he is tried, we went over that already, right? Tried means to be what? To be tested, right?
Approved.
Approved, right? Mm-hmm. So then we go to that word endure. Right? When we go to the word endure, it's hippomeno, right? Mm-hmm. And what it means is he who perseveres and has patience, he who tarries or tarries behind, right? So when we look at this, right?
Can I give a different definition of mine? It says something a little different. I think it stands out. It says to remain, right? Mm-hmm. It means to remain. To endure means you don't fluctuate. You stay. You're steady.
Yeah.
You can keep pace. You can remain who you are. Mm-hmm. Your enduring is a matter of remaining, not getting. You get weak along the way, but something kicks in where you're able to keep pace. You're able to endure. You're able to keep going. You're able to keep striding.
Call that second gear.
Yes.
So when you look at that, right, blessed is the man that remaineth. Let's say remaineth in posture, remaineth in a position against temptation. When you are tried, He's telling you, you remain in that position of posture in him, that you shall receive a crown of life. So we know the destination is what? Life, crown of life, right? Which the Lord had what? Promised
to them that love him.
You see that? And we know he said love is what? What is love according to the scripture? Keeping the commandments. So that goes right back to the foundation, that stronghold of that holy mountain. He who remained in his word and his tribe, he received the crown of life. This is the promise that we're looking for. This is the final destination that we're trying to get to. This is the part. So we went through a trial and test on your journey. We went through your faith. There's going to be a part when you're lonely. There's going to be a part where you may find yourself comparing yourself to another along your journey. But this is all part of your endurance so that you may receive the crown of life. You see that? So with that being said, let's go to seek and understand on how to endure. Let's go to Luke 12. This making sense for y'all?
Yeah. Book of Luke 12 and
we're going to start at verse 22. So now let's see what the master tells us on how should we endure? How should we obtain this type of faith? How should we get through these trials, right? What type of mindset should we have if we're saying that Yeshua is our master and we is Talmudim? Let's go.
And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life.
And it says little thought.
No thought.
No thought. You both not taking no thought of your life. Believe it or not, when we sit here, and I get it, I do get it to a degree, I understand it. But when we're sitting here making vision boards, as if that we know for a fact that that's where we're getting. You may put yourself in a predicament that your vision board goes against the vision Yah has for you. So when it says take no thought of your life, does that mean don't have a plan? No. Does that mean don't have a vision? I'm not saying that at all. But you should be dotting your I's and crossing your T's to make sure the vision you have for yourself is actually one that Yah already had for you. This is how you take no thought of your life, that everything that you do is in line with what Yah wants for you and not what you want for yourself. Because you can get yourself out of position. You can get yourself out of remaining and even being able when that test, because it's going to come regardless of what posture you take. But to know that what you're doing is in line with Yah gives you more strength to endure it. Let's keep going.
And so you'll get a little bit more understanding. That thought means anxious. Anxious about it. Therefore I say unto you, be not anxious for your life. What ye shall eat, neither for the body. What ye shall put on. Right? The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and Elohim feedeth them. How much more will ye better than the fowls?
So what is he presenting to us, y'all? I want y'all three to. What is Yeshua presenting to us right now?
He's basically saying that you shouldn't really worry about natural things like food and raiment. He's going to supply that for you.
There we go.
You stay the course and you stay on his path.
And what usually causes a man to get anxious anyway? Fear of what?
Lack of faith.
But what natural things usually cause a man to become in that mindset of being anxious? Lack of resources can't provide. The scarcity. Right? But we clearly see that Yah, when you're with Yah, like
this don't mean, brother. This mean if a man don't work, you don't eat, brother.
No,
it don't mean like, brother, you get to chill up on the couch.
No.
Right? No. This don't mean you get to chill on the couch. Say, hey man, I'm proving Yah right now. He said, be anxious for nothing.
Right.
I ain't got man. I'm gonna stay right here, brother. I'm just gonna wait for the spiritual Instacart to show up.
Right, exactly. Remember, he said, "Occupy till I come." Occupation. So we know he's not sitting there talking about literally just wait. There's a difference between. We always said it's different between waiting and being still. It's a difference. So in this essence, if he said be lazy, because we know for a fact that the raven's always moving around.
Yes.
But they're not sitting there every day, oh, I'm going to pay the bill. Where I'm going to lay today. No, they already have a natural programming that all them things going to come. They just got to be in position to get it. They just got to be in position. And the thing about being in position, it requires you to put some work in to get there.
It's actually a reference to the scripture read First Kings where Elijah was when God told Elijah to go to the brook, and he said he would command the ravens to feed him. So it just shows that God's sovereign even on his creation.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But what was Elijah doing? He was where y'all told him to be.
Yeah.
Where he told him to be. He picked up his cross and
being a sluggard or sloth.
No.
Right.
Let's keep going. So we at verse 25.
Yep. And which of you with taking thought can add to his stature 1 cubit?
So what is he saying? Which you actually considering these things can actually add to yourself? Have you ever been in a real position like you literally are vulnerable? Like you know for a fact at this point I gotta ask somebody.
Right. And let me tell you something about being anxious from my experience. Have you ever been anxious? Anxiety brings on fear. He said, be anxious for nothing, right? Anxiety can bring on fear. Fear can bring on the same. You could be anxious about how your bills will get paid, and it'll bring on the same symptoms of if you're in a fallen airplane.
Ooh-wee.
If you ever been in real fear, your mouth get dry, you can't get comfort. You see what I'm saying? If you ever been in real perpetual, like real fear, you could feel it in your gut. You could feel it, and your body will take on the same fears if somebody was pointing. You have the same bodily reactions, right? If somebody's pointing a gun at your head, that you will have if you feel like your rent is due tomorrow, and you don't know how you will pay it. Your body will react the same way. Anxiety can bring on mental illness. Right, it can bring on because your body's sending cortisol. It's sending cortisol to you, and it actually can start rotting your body. People who's in constant fear produce cortisol, right? And that cortisol can actually start actually pulling and feeding on the proteins in your muscle.
Yep.
Right. So what I'm saying, you can have the same biological reactions behind not getting your rent paid or needing food than you can actually have if somebody's pointing a gun at your head, telling them about to kill you. It's the same, it produces the same fear, the same uncertainty. So what is he telling us? It's like by your faith, you shouldn't even have to have all of these type of worries on this level. If you really have faith in Yah, and you know you're doing everything in your power and you rest in him, you let go, he'll literally then that activates him to move on your behalf.
Okay.
So let me read again, 26. If ye then be not able to do that which is least, why take ye thought for the rest?
Come on.
After you done did the little bit, that's it. If you couldn't do it all, then why are you worrying about the stuff you couldn't do? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If you talking about spin and toil, they used to have what they call it, the spindle. When the old ladies used to spin and weave, right? He's saying the lilies don't spin and weave. You look at the lilies, they in purple. They come out in purple, and the kings wore purple.
Yeah.
So he's like, look at the lilies, how they're arrayed and how Yah adorned them. They didn't make their garments, they didn't beautify themselves, right? And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then Elohim so clothed the grass which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye little faith?
I remember, to move a mountain, you got to have faith with no doubt. And what he's trying to convey to the disciples is to worry about these things is actually to have doubt. That's why he finished it with, "O ye of little faith." If Yah can take care of these creations that's smaller than you, what makes you think as one of his greatest creations that he ain't gonna take care of you? And unfortunately for us, we literally are in a society that constantly pumps fear, that constantly pumps stress. So now that means the question you should ask again and pray for is what? We're talking about Solomon. What did he pray for? Wisdom. Yeah, how would I'm in this society that's full of drama, trauma, stress, and fear? How do I move in wisdom to maintain my faith in you? How many of us are praying for that? We constantly praying, Y'all take me out of Babylon, take me out of captivity. Give me this, give me that. How not ask him how to move in wisdom in your current situation? Because maybe he may take you out. He may move you here. He may put you in the community. But is that really your concern, or should that be his concern? Because we supposed to lay all of our what at his feet? Our cares. So if your care is that America is falling and the economy is going bad, who are you supposed to lay that care down to? Yeah. So you see why, if you see that it's falling and you may not be progressing to be in a better place, God, probably because you're praying for the wrong thing. You're praying for the wrong thing. And even when you pray amiss. You praying amiss. You don't even believe what you're praying in. Because while you praying, you worry about how you're going to pay the light bill. While you praying, you worry about how you're going to get your food stamps and put food on the table. So you can't even pray with a clear mind because you're so endowed in your doubt and stress. I can't speak with nobody else, but I make sure if I know there's a lot on my mind, I try not to pray. Because I've been in a position where I'm praying and those thoughts are consuming me. That's just me. I'm not saying anybody else. But I try to make sure I'm at least in a settled mindset where I can pray clearly and pray in a righteous manner with no other thought of anything else. So you just got to make sure when you come to Yah, you come with no doubt. You come with no fear. Because at the end, he going to look at you like you don't even believe what you praying in. So it stink to him. Let's keep going.
And seek ye not ye what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye doubtful of mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after.
What seek after?
The nations of the world seek after.
And who type of environment are we in?
The nations.
The nations. So when you're functioning and you're moving, you're taking the character of these nations, you're taking on the things that the nations seek after. I wonder how many people literally feared what just passed, the solar eclipse. Right? We see in Jeremiah 10, that's what the nations wonder at, right? And that's what they fear. Well, how many Israelites is making videos about it? Scared. This is apocalypse and all this other type of stuff. Moving like the nations. Where we know, according to our prophecies, these are what? Just signs. These are signs that our deliverance draws nigh. So even in that, should we move in fear or should we be rejoicing?
When you really think about it, Yah said all of these things are actually going to bring the nations in fear. Lack of all these things. So if you really lack in all of these things and you take on the ways that the mindset of the nations, then guess what happens? That's there to perpetuate fear, to actually bring them into humility, right? In the hopes of bringing them into submission to him. But for us that actually are a part of him, we actually shouldn't even be responding on that level based on those things because we're supposed to have the comfort of knowing that he's going to provide for us.
Okay.
Right? Okay. He says, for all these nations for all these things do the nations of the world seek after. And your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. Your Father know you have need of these things. He made you. He know what you need. But rather seek ye the kingdom of Elohim.
Seek what?
The kingdom of Elohim.
So when we seek that, I mean, we got to take the path toward the what? Kingdom. He said, seek ye the kingdom first. Seek ye the kingdom first. And what?
All is right. All these things will be added unto you.
And all these things shall be added unto you. When you put the kingdom first, when you put in your eyesight the kingdom first, what's that called? You had that when you got that vision, it's locked in vision. Tunnel vision. What is a tunnel? It's a path. When you have that tunnel vision towards the kingdom, anything outside that tunnel don't matter. It doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, all that you need that's even outside the tunnel, when you seek the kingdom, it's going to be added unto you anyway. That's like comparing natural medicines to pharmaceutical medicines. One suppresses you and it may take the pain away quick. Don't mean it subsided or healed you, but it will give you something temporary, a quick fix. Natural medicine, it does take the process a little longer, but at least you know at the end there's life. At least you know at the end that this is truly helping me and not suppressing or killing my organs slowly. You know that there's life at the end. It's just, can you endure the process that it takes? That is the kingdom. It may take a little longer to get those natural things that you want, but you know at the end there's life and the crown of life. Let's keep going.
Fear ye not, little flock.
Come on.
For it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.
See what I'm saying? He wants to give it to you. He just can't just freely give it to you just quickly, because you wouldn't even know what to do with it. I like some brother be praying for a good woman. You're not even a good man. Why would he let you abuse his daughter knowing that you need some healing? You need some healing. He wants you to have a good woman. He wants you to have a pillar to rest upon. But he know if he give it to you too soon, you're gonna be held in hot water to that woman. Ask for wisdom. Do I deserve this woman right now?
Anxious around that woman. Full of anxiety.
Full of anxiety.
Got faith. Tearing her up. You don't got the stability to contain that.
Lacking all type of trust. Not knowing all she's trying to do is uplift you.
Right.
But because you challenged her, you took it as rebellion. Goofy. You took it as rebellion because she's trying to tell you, hey, master, this is, I'm just saying, this is what I see in you. Oh, who you talking to, woman? I'm just
Why
trying
you trying
to
to tell me what to do?
Why you trying to tell me what to do? Taking it all personal.
I know I'm a man. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
What was that, 33?
Yeah, we're going to go all the way to 35.
Okay. Sell that ye have.
Do what?
Sell that ye have.
So it tell you, don't worry about these things that you came into this walk with.
If you're worried about it, maybe it's time for you to sell it.
Come on.
And give on.
Oh. So when you coming in, you supposed to be giving, not taking, not sitting there being
so
damn.
You hold back on little songs because you're a little bit of alms because you think I'm gonna be able to cover my rent. So, okay. And guess what? You're gonna have that pressure.
Yep.
Let that pressure stay on you. But you don't trust me to give.
That's a fact.
It says, sell that ye have and give alms. Provide yourself bags.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Provide yourself what? Bags. Which will what? Which wax not old.
Sell that ye have and give alms. Provide yourself bags, which wax not old. A treasure in the heavens that fadeth, that faileth not. Where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupted.
Come on.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So treasures can symbolize what? Reward. To be able to receive something. It could be a physical object that you're looking to obtain. So whatever your focus is on getting, that's where your heart is. So if your focus is staying on a mode of survival, that's your treasure.
I gotta go here, right? We talk about alms, right? We're talking about it too much. It's really too much.
Okay.
Then we should have to. And this is not for the community out there. This is for here. But do you see how this, we talked about proving, testing. Do you see, is that a suggestion?
No, it's not.
Or is that a commandment?
Man.
Sell that ye have and give alms. Provide yourself bags which wax not old. A treasure in the heavens that faileth not. Where no thief approacheth, neither no moth corrupteth. What is Mashiach telling us? He's telling us by you being willing to let go. You know, it's a saying, right? It says, open hands receiveth. You have to let go to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to let go. Proof that you're willing to hold on to things like not being willing to give. And what we say in the Surah, it tells us about arms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually has the power to what?
It delivered thee from death.
Deliver you from death. Right? Giving alms is an expression of faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of times where I've seen people give because they didn't even have enough for their rent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We hold on to this little $500 ain't doing nothing when I still got a whole nother stack to get. I'm gonna show my faith and I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna see somebody on the street that actually need this, and I'm gonna give it to them. That's in worse condition.
You know, a perfect example of that, Hannah.
Yes.
She was barren. And she asked y'all pretty much, you give me this, I'll give it back to you.
I'll give it back to you.
And because of that, she gave that son up. And she got 5 more children.
But we think holding on to a little $20 is like go spare us. And y'all like, what? Mm-hmm. You're looking at us like, what? Like, you struggling with this?
Mm-hmm.
If you're struggling with this, you're struggling with the kingdom. He said it's what he just told us. He told us right here, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Like, this really shouldn't mean nothing. All of this should be, these little transactions we make on this level really should be mean nothing by comparison to the greater thing to be revealed.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't matter. This ain't no prosperity teaching. Like, and alms ain't for minutes. Alms is for the poor.
Yeah.
Right. And so even those of you that may be out there in listen by way of social media, if you know somebody needs something and you feel the spirit of conviction that's on you to give, because you may be holding out.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you will have bags without holes in it, right? And why is he saying that your bags will not? Because your bags represent, back then they literally had shekels, and they would carry around a little money bag and they'll tie it to their waist, a little leather bag, right? And those bags can hold a lot of coins or shekels, as they say.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's telling us, he's showing us the exchange, he's showing us the economy of the heaven, and the secret to it.
Okay.
If you hold back, then guess what? When you really need, you actually didn't have to start going begging, borrow, and steal. Because that means you probably withheld at some point when y'all told you to give.
Okay. If you actually look at the blessings actually is all about giving.
Right. Because your treasures in heaven is there. You're storing them up for when you need them. See, Yah's down the road. He's way down there and telling you to follow these principles, because we all gonna come and meet calamity at some point.
Yeah.
All of us are gonna come and meet a hard time. So what you're doing is you're storing up your currency, you're putting it in the bank of heaven, so when you need something, Yah come through.
Okay.
Never have I seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You around here begging and asking, and maybe try to
attention. Your battery is running low. Please plug in the power adapter now.
Your hand is closed. You may not be able to receive. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We'll read 34. We're gonna read 35 too.
Okay. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning.
Hallelujah. So the last phase, before we get to the Revelation of Tsade, we can go to Psalms 30, 35, 39. And this is where on your journey, there's another element that we didn't talk about. On your journey, this is usually where you start to learn about yourself, right? You learn about who you are, you learn about what you are, you learn about your weaknesses and your strengths, right? You get to learn a little bit more about yourself as you go through some trials and hardships. Let's keep going.
101, right?
Yeah, read it. Yeah.
The chief musician, even Jeduthun, a psalm of David. I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not.
You Psalm 139.
Oh, my bad. Oh, 139.
My bad, y'all. 139.
Okay.
Yep.
To the chief musician, a psalm of David. O Yahweh, thou hast searched me and known me.
You did what?
Searched me and known me.
So who know you better than yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off.
So y'all know what you doing. He know how you are. He know where you weak at in your downfall. He know where your strength at when you rise up. He knows if you prideful. He knows if you're selfish. He knows if you're selfless. He knows your thoughts. Even when you could be doing good but have negative thoughts, he knows these things. So you could be doing things in vanity when your thought really not on the mindset to do good, right? So he knows these things. So when it comes to knowing yourself, who should you be going to know more about yourself? Yeah, it's not no deep, weird Hindu thing where you going so deep and you get into these postures and devoting yourself to these deities. No, you should be going to the one eternal King, asking him, how do I best serve you by being who I am to you?
Okay.
Come on.
Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways.
Oh, wait, come on.
For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Yahweh, thou knowest altogether.
Come on.
Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me.
Come on.
Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it.
Come on.
Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into the heavens, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me.
Thy what shall hold me?
Thy right hand shall hold me.
Come on.
I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light upon me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb.
Come on.
I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
I'm what?
Fearfully and wonderfully
I'm
made.
Fearfully and wonderfully made. That's how you was created to be. Fearfully and wonderfully made in his likeness and his image. Don't think that you can get over. You can get over on everybody else, but two things you can't get over is yourself and Yah. You can lie to everybody else. You can be a false image to everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, we got the
Yeah, we just had a little surge here, so can y'all hear me?
we got that thing tomorrow. The farming thing tomorrow.
Can y'all hear me? We good tomorrow. It's just for the night.
You just throwing the night.
If y'all can hear me, drop some ones in the chat. My bad, y'all. We just had a little power surge here, so y'all can hear me, drop some ones in the chat. I don't know who those is. All right, so we're gonna keep going while we wait. But as we were saying, David said, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well." Right? My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret. You see that? And curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thy eyes did see my substance, yet being imperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in countenance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. You see that? So he's telling you down to the members of your own body, he knows you. You see that? He said, how precious also are thy thoughts unto me. Oh God, how great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I'm still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O Elohim. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. We ain't got to go no further. So y'all see that when it comes to knowing yourself, the greatest person you can go to know thyself is Elohim. He knows every structure of your body, every structure of your cells, every structure of your thoughts. He actually took his time making you. You were a thought before you was a physical being. You are the blueprint of his greatest creation. Oh my God.
It's like, where do you go when you buy a new Mercedes and you have a problem with it? What did they give you?
They give you a manual, right?
User manual.
Right? Mm-hmm. Same thing. So he probably looking at it when we sitting there trying to praise the Hindu gods, the Egyptian gods, and we bowing ourselves to wood and stone. He probably saying, you foolish child. You fool, I've made you greater than them. How are you bowing yourself to something you're greater than? How are you seeking an angel disguised as a deity? When you at the end, I'm calling you to judge even the angels. I'm calling you at the end and sit at my council to judge the world. Yet you see the things that are less than you. Man. We foolish for real. We really foolish. We searching out meat when we can go to the king of all food. We searching out land as if our father don't own all of it. We searching out clothes as if he didn't put the fabric on our backs. Oh, ye a little faith. You foolish and froward generation. You have forgot who your God is. Is it not me who killeth and maketh alive? Is it me that not cause you to be wounded and healed? Is it not me who have made man's tongue to speak? That's the God you serve. Did I not crack this rock open for you when you was athirst? Did I not split the sea for you to be free? Did I not hear your cry and sent a savior for you to be redeemed? Mm-hmm. Does my hand literally lack? But you want to lean on your government for substance? You want to lean on your government for financial substance? Food stamps? Not to say I'm necessarily speaking against these things, but we'll rather go to the man than to the creator. The earth is mine and the fullness thereof. Do I not give to those who ask? But this is the result of being in a fast-paced environment. I need my money. I want it now. Right? I want it now.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ephesians 2. I'm getting back connected.
I'm off too.
Nah, you on. I'm just switching my internet. Go back real quick. Yeah, I'm about to. Let's start at verse 10. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10.
Am I on?
Yeah, you good.
Mm-hmm. 2 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
For we are his workmanship, created in Mashiach Yeshua, unto good works, which Elohim have before ordained that we should walk in them.
Come on. So walk in the same way as the path, the journey, direct. So we were ordained to walk in the path of Yeshua. We are the work that's supposed to walk in the path. He said we were created in Yeshua unto good works. So even his word is wrapped into our DNA. Ooh-wee. Even his word is wrapped into our psyche. Because sometimes, have you ever been in a position where you know, like just something tell me this is not right? Right? You may not know exactly what, but this is something ain't right here. They call it intuition, right? We're going to call it Yah tuition. This is word. It is word intertwined into your DNA telling you right and wrong because you are his work. And you were created in Yeshua unto good works. Come on.
Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision, in the flesh made by hand.
Come on.
That at that time ye were without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
What does that mean? What does that mean to be aliens from the commonwealth of Israel?
Boy, strangers.
Mm-hmm. And what is that commonwealth?
Law, statutes, commandments, the promises, the covenants.
Watch this. The deeper version means freedom. That time you were without Mashiach, being aliens from the freedom of Israel. You see that? We want to sit here and talk about liberation, revolution, and all these things, but all that is fasting in Yeshua being the forefront of these type of good works. You were alienated from freedom, as you are this day. You were alienated from being the citizens of Yah's kingdom. And now you're considered outcasts and exiles. Turned slaves. Let's keep going. And strangers from the covenant of the promise. What did he say? If you shall walk in the promises, you should get what? The crown of life. So being alienated from the path of Yah alienated you from freedom, alienated you from being a citizen of the kingdom, and alienated you from actually achieving or receiving the promise. Having no hope and without God in the world. Keep going.
But now in Mashiach, Yeshua, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach.
Keep going.
For he is our peace, who have made both one and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
You see that? So that goes down to that stronghold. There's two sides of the stronghold. There's one to protect you, there's one to keep you out. Guess what? It's through Yeshua that you're able to go up now. It's through Yeshua that we're able to have the possibility to enter into the holy place and holies of holies. It is through him that we're able to enter into his tabernacle. Because that before, in a natural tabernacle, you couldn't come in. You You had to stand at the door, but he said, I am the door. If any man shall knock, I shall let him in. He the door and the shepherd. And he was a lamb that was slain before the foundations of the earth. And we're going to end it right here. 2 Peter's. We're going to end it at 2 Peter chapter 1. Y'all following me? I hope at the end of this, everybody is can truly step into their purpose and really understand what that purpose in Yah is, because we all have a path that we got to go. We're going to start at 1, and we're going to end at 11. We done. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 1.
Simon, Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yeshua HaMashiach, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of Elohim and our Savior Yeshua HaMashiach.
Come on.
Grace and peace be multiplied unto you.
Through what?
Through the knowledge of Elohim and of Yeshua our Adonai.
Come on.
Confirm your calling and even.
Verse 3.
I'm reading subtitles. According as his divine power hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness.
So we know when we come on this journey, right? He's saying, I've given you all things. We talk about the preparation, right?
Yes,
that bag of preparation. He said, I've given you all the tools that you need that pertain to life and holiness. I've given you the bag of righteousness to make sure you sustain yourself along your journey. Did you actually know that Torah, when you actually go to the root definition, it actually means he who takes the journey? That's what it means. The root of Torah is he who takes a journey. We know the acronyms of the Bible is what? Basic instructions, what? For leaving earth. Because the reality is this life is a journey. And there's basic instruction that you must take on this journey called life.
And that narrow path that he spoke of his Torah.
Okay. Torah is that narrow path. And on this narrow path, there's instructions embedded in Torah called the manual. And it's giving you all the tools, the sleeping bag, and the tents that you need.
And
the tents that you need to cover up when you want to take rest along your journey. The compass that directs you towards the king of the north. The water that sustains you while you're going up the mountain. He's giving you the food that's more better than bread. When you want to keep going on the journey when it gets dark, he is giving you something that's a lamp so that your oil may not burn out. So when you a Negro who say, well, let me get your oil. The door is open. The kingdom is there. And I'm saying, hell no. You better get your own, because I prepared myself at the bottom of this mountain. I done had this oil since I started this journey.
Yeah, that word is that coal lamp.
Yeah. You sitting at the bottom of the mountain, I'm in the middle. You talking about, give me, give me, give me. You better go down the block and street, find some oil in that tree. Because I done prepared myself for this moment to have this oil. The bridegroom is coming. The door is open. I see it. You still down there. You still at the bottom. I see the door open right there. You want me to turn around, all the way around. I can't even do this. I got to turn all the way around to come get you. It's a wrap, brother. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So he said, according to as his divine power have given us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through knowledge of him that have called us to the glory and virtue. Come on, let's keep going.
Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust.
Now remember, we said when you go up that mountain, your body has to transcend, right? It has to transform, so it adapts to the new elements that is entering that it's not used to. And that's exactly when we on our walk with Yah, that we have to actually start to be partakers of his divine nature and put off the old wineskins, because that new wine is about to pour in. Only new wineskins can hold it. Only new wineskins can hold it. And when you put on this new wineskin, it allows you to actually escape the corruption of the world, because the world is in that valley. The world is in that wilderness that you keep getting tried. Huh? The serpents is right down there. The scorpions is down there. The beast of the field is down in that valley. And for you to be have a safe haven, you got to start climbing up that mountain. You got to start climbing up that mountain. But the only way you can get up there safe and sound is to lessen the load and put on a new divine nature that allows you to actually sustain while up there.
And that light burden, the yoke is easy yoke.
Easy yoke. Come on.
And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to your virtue knowledge.
Come on.
And to knowledge temperance.
Now, didn't we say that? Besides this, giving all diligence, right? Add to your faith virtue. Now, what does virtue mean? What does virtue mean? What you got?
I'm gonna give it. Manliness.
Right.
Praise. That it means praise, virtue. It means excellence. That is manliness, valor.
Right. So when
excellent.
So when you're giving diligence to his word, it adds to your faith an excellence on how you should sustain yourself. And through adding that excellence, it gives you more knowledge on how to have the fear of Elohim. And once you have a fear of Elohim, it allows you to gain temperance while going up that mountain. Because once you gain temperance, knowing that this is a huge mountain, it applies patience. So you're not sitting there asking how long it's going to take, but how I'm going to get there. So through adding patience, you start to have a godliness because we know the ultimate patience is in Yah. He's the ultimate person with patience. He's been dealing with us for 1,000 years with the same heart. Acting like the same whore as was in the beginning. He's still dealing with you. That's hella patience. A lot of patience. That's eternal patience because we know if we had a whore of a woman, she'll be out of here. She'll be out of here. And we got the nerve to say that as if we're not as corrupt as that whore. But this is a godly Elohim that still dealt and had patience and temperance with that whore called Israel. But Negroes will send her out here quickly. Because the fact is, a hoe can't change into a housewife. If you got the blueprint to change her.
Be born again.
If you be born again. We talking about BBAs, be born again.
Women out there, you don't need no BBA.
Right,
BBA.
We giving BBAs around here. You see that? I'm serious. This, if you really ever really walked up a mountain, you actually know that this is facts. You got to really consider the cost. Like, all right, can I really get up there? And you actually you have to have the actual faith that you can get up there. And once you gain the faith, you know there's a certain type of virtue and knowledge that you have to get up. You got to pace yourself. Because through that pacing, you start to grow a temperance. You start to endure when your legs start to hurt, when your arms start to hurt, when you start to get tired, your body break down. Because through that patience, you're able to start to break through that barrier, and then you start to lean on the spirit. Because you know at the end of the day, hey, ain't no water or food gonna get me through that. I gotta believe in Yah to get me through this day. I gotta believe in Yah. Verse 7.
And to godliness, let's go to patience. Patience, and to patience, godliness. And to godliness, brotherly kindness.
Why? Because once you have obtained that, now you really know how to deal with your brother in love. Because you actually understand the consciousness of how Yah dealt with you. Come on.
And to brotherly kindness, charity.
Come on.
Which is AKA love.
Mm-hmm.
For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Adonai Yeshua HaMashiach.
Remember I told y'all when people really take the journey with Yah and really walk with Yah, that it will be evidence that they are. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be by word or speech. It's going to be evidence that Yah is with you. Mm-hmm. And you don't even have to boast of yourself. It will be evident that Yah is with you. Because he ain't about to deal with nothing that can't yield him anything that's of good fruit. Mm-hmm. Come on.
But he that lacketh these things
is what?
Is blind.
Woo-wee. Groping that noonday. You don't even know if you actually went up the mountain yet. You could still be going left or right. Come on.
These things is blind and cannot see afar off.
Come on.
And have forgotten that he was purged from his old sin.
So you got all the way to, remember, at the door of the tabernacle, remember, that's where you do your offering at, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you're telling the priest that you want to atone. So you don't atone, right? And you don't finally start following shit, but you done got lost in your way, going left or right and not going straight. And you done forgot that your sins was purged in order for you to even start getting up this mountain.
When you really think about the brotherly kindness, he's talking about obeying the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just an emotional thing. The brotherly kindness is actually not coveting your brother's goods, his wife. Huh? If you see his ass is in a ditch, right, you want to go and help relieve his ass. If you see and these are the principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you see your neighbor's cow off his land, you go find it and go return it to him.
Okay.
So the brotherly kindness is actionable.
Yep.
It's not just like, hey, good brother. We think it's like, hey, okie dokie, good neighbor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No. It's literally brotherly kindness is like when you see him in need, you see what I'm saying? You give to him. If brotherly kindness is what? If you see like, give me something out of Torah random, like a law in the Torah.
If your beast kill another man's beast,
what happens?
You gotta pay him. I think you gotta depending if he kill the beast or not, but you gotta pay him double.
You gotta pay him double. You just don't say, hey, forgive me.
Right.
You return, you pay the fine, you pay the fee. Right? So brotherly kindness is saying an emotion. We're supposed to actually be able to search Torah and see what do we do with each situation.
Yep.
How do we actually express and show our brotherly kindness?
Mm-hmm.
How does the instructions, how the Torah instruct us to deal with different situations that we may run across with our brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have to go to the Torah set of principles.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Then the other brother may turn around and say, no, brother, I forgive you now. No, but he said, no, you're supposed to pay your vows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you what you deserve.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It ain't just, hey, because you relied on your brother's goodness, you keep defrauding him.
Right.
Right? And that's how you defraud your brother. You don't pay back what you owe.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You don't keep your vows. You don't do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But we negate this. We Christians, as much as we don't want to think about it.
Right.
Because really, when you're really in Torah, if there's anything, if you hurt your brother, if you didn't keep a vow, if you didn't do certain things, the scripture instructs us what we're supposed to do in those situations, right? Even if say like there's something like a ditch in your yard and your brother trip over it or stumble in it, is there repair that must be made for it? Right?
Man. That's a fact.
But we don't see brotherly kindness. We just think it's just some abstract emotional thing.
Right.
No, but this is men. That's what he said in virtue, manliness, excellence. How do you deal with your brother in excellence? No, I'm going to repair. If I owe him something, I'm going to repair. I'm going to restore something. I'm not going to exploit him and take him for granted just because he's a good brother.
Okay.
No, I'm going to pay my debt. I just ain't going to use you. How do I not become a user? Right?
Okay.
You do things for your brother. You do things, and you show it. You express it by giving, and it's an exchange.
Okay.
So we got to come out of this mindset where we think forgiveness is just, hey brother, I forgive you. But you leave the brother now got to pay for the damage you caused.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if it may be something simple, if we accidentally, one of our children damaged somebody's goods in their home.
Yep.
Like, no, you pay for that. Like, no, I'm gonna repair that. I'm gonna pay for that because that's something of yours that is fixed.
Yep.
I just ain't gonna rely on your goodness and be like, man, I know you. Oh man, my bad.
Right.
My bad. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. No, you make good on it. Like, hey, I'm gonna return that. I'm gonna fix that. Or how much is that worth?
Yep. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Make perfect sense.
Like, how much is that worth? No, I'm gonna pay for that. No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't sweat it. You sure? Nah, you know what I'm saying? Even if the brother don't really mean it. Hey, nah, brother, I'm gonna pay for that. That costs you something.
I think we get more caught up on reading than applying.
Yes.
You know, and not the Torah. So you're not going to read yourself into the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's applying what you're reading. You know what I mean? Again, knowledge. When you reading, you just obtain knowledge. And even at the root of knowledge, it's not really knowledge, because real knowledge is applying what you know.
Mm-hmm.
So even when we attain knowledge, we say we're talking about knowledge. Knowledge actually helps you obtain virtue. So that your knowledge should help you obtain that excellency by applying Yah's Torah. So when we read verse 10, it says, "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure." What does diligent mean? We gotta go over these words, because sometimes we just think we could literally gonna study ourselves approved, right? Mm-hmm. But to study means to really apply. First of all, if you study anything, you gotta first do a trial and test to see if it works. Mm-hmm. So when you study, are you testing Yah's word to make? Hey, if you saying this, let me test it out. I'm gonna test to say, all right, you said it, I'll do it, or not. Do I receive my reward? Mm-hmm. You see that? Some of us don't really challenge y'all likes to be challenged. Show me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. You'll see that in a couple of prophecies. He laying out a thing. He says, now show me. Show me where I'm wrong at. Mm-hmm. He don't mind that, because at the end of the day, he know his way is the right way. There is no other way. Yes, sir.
There's an extra biblical book called the Apocalypse of Abraham. Mm-hmm. And he did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like always
question.
Kind of not challenging y'all, but charging y'all to prove his word and prove himself to him, to where it was almost like they were conversing. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why y'all consider him a friend, because they were so close to the point to where Abraham was able to be like, well, if this is so, y'all, then why is this happening? Or if this is that, and then y'all would answer him. You know, like, I don't know the legitimacy of it, but it was interesting. It kind of made it seem like, yeah, they're friends. Like, that's
because you gotta understand where Abraham was coming from was not in a place of challenging. He just really wanted to seek to understand. Because I've been following these false gods for a long time, and I'm trying to figure out, like, all right, are you really him? Because I want to follow you. I just need to know, like that, and that's really what it was. So it's not necessarily a challenge, but just like he asked him, if there's 10 righteous, I want to know if you really that righteous God. If there's 10, would you spare the city? He answered it with no problem, because he understood his heart was, you really want to know me. And that's what y'all looking for. Do you really want to know who I am? Because I'll let you in, but are you really ready for that? That's why we couldn't go up that mountain, because we really wasn't. That's why the first time we hear thundering, hell no, Moses. Hey, listen, you deal with it. You just let us know what he said. But we really didn't want to know y'all. We just wanted our cake and eat it too, as they say. We wanted freedom, but the freedom to do as thou wilt. For real.
Freedom Mountain.
We wanted that Freedom Mountain. We want Freedom Land.
Healing Mountain.
So with that being said, that is the revelation of Tsade. That is the journey that we must take to the destination of the kingdom. Is that we have to die to ourselves along the way and lighten the load. But we cannot, just like you read the book of Enoch, he couldn't go in that same body. He had every time he went higher, he even had to get a new name. Ooh, he even had to get a new name. You can't be James in the kingdom. You can't be LaShawn. You know what I mean? I can't be Michael. He only doing those who his name is on. Mikael, Yaakov, Zekiah, Adiah, Shalah. He's only looking for himself and you, not you, Negro. So when you get out the way and let your Mashiach take you over and truly possess you, then everything that you want is there. The riches of the earth is there. That nice house that you're looking for is there. The land is there. The water, the food is there. The clothes is there. The fly is up, because one thing we know about Yah is you ain't gonna be no poop putt representing him. He needs you be in the most glorious garments. But he needs you to first put on the garments of righteousness. and then all things shall be added unto you. So with that being said, that is the end of the lesson for the family. I hope y'all got some understanding, and I pray this helped you all, equip y'all better on y'all journey, your trail towards y'all's kingdom, as we are all seeking the kingdom on this individual project with this group effort, that we may provoke one another to greater works and greater love, that we may have Yeshua be filled in us and not ourselves. So with that being said, family, we'll see y'all Wednesday. Got any questions? Make sure y'all email us, and we'll see y'all next Shabbat. Shalom, shalom.